Yeah, I knew that was gonna be fucked up. Hang on, let me fix this window capture. So I wasn't even trying to live stream today, but this happened. So first I'm gonna play it
At first.
so you get like the whole. I'm gonna play it from the beginning, right? So, and I'm gonna go ahead like okay, I'm a man of honor. Like if I was wrong, I'm gonna be wrong, right? I'm not gonna try to like weasel around it or anything like that, right? I'm not gonna do any of that. Like if I was wrong, I was wrong, right? And this dude thought he had me. Now to be fair, whoever this Goob YouTube, I did start this. I did start it. I started it, right? So I'm not gonna be like all like hyper brutal and all that shit like that because I started it, right? And if I'm wrong, then I'll happily be wrong, right? But I don't think I'm wrong, and we get ready to go ahead go through this in about an hour. So yeah, so he's got some beef with some girl named Donna Briggs. I don't know what that is, but hey, have your own channel, have fun, dude. I don't fucking know. Do it, right? But this is what got okay. Like again, to be fair, I left a comment on his. Like, I was watching. I woke up this morning, right? And I was scrolling through Facebook Reels. It was like 8 a.m. because I'm in Prague, so like yeah, he's probably back in the U.S. somewhere. So like when these motherfuckers was probably like up late at night at a bar, they probably seen it and like roasted me. Like they got on me for this, right? They roasted me, and I'm gonna play his video that he made about me for his like group, right? And to be fair, again, I started it, so I'll own it, right? And if I'm wrong, which we're gonna go into this, right? But if I'm wrong, I'll be wrong. It's whatever, right? So first, let me shout to everybody. Red Hills, what's good, AD? Would you try fentanyl for the spiritual experience? I think now I could probably handle it because I did try. I at least know what heroin felt like, but fentanyl was like a lot stronger. So I don't know. To be honest, I don't. I would try at least a little bit of it though. I think I can handle myself with it. Steven Smith, hey man, I'm good, man. I usually don't live stream on Saturday, but I kind of had to because this was an area in fields that I've actually worked in. So I got called out on the internet. So here I am. But I'm good though. The baby, I got a family. I'm keeping up with the baby, keeping up with her. She's gone off to get some food to come home, cook it. But yeah, I'm good, man. I'm in Prague. I'm chilling. Uh, yeah, just finished the hardest semester of my entire career. Rest seals, yeah, I remember when I was in biotech, dude. I remember when I was in the biotech field. At the end of every semester, like my brain just fucking felt like I was just exhausted. I was like physically exhausted from the schoolwork when I was in. I still remember going to my dad's house and just sweeping the floor, just like feeling like more exhausted than I ever felt in my entire life after every semester of biotech was up. And I would drive back to my dad's house. I remember just sweeping the floor and just feeling exhausted because the coursework and then just not knowing if I'd make it through to complete the whole course, to complete the program. Like all that's in your mind when you're in university, when you're in college, right? Like all of that's working in your mind. Like, am I actually going to make it? Is it all just a waste of time? Like, am I going to be good enough? Like, all of that plays in. That's what people don't talk about who actually went to school. Oh, and they're not lying, right? We might have a guest speaker. The baby might come in. I don't know. I just heard him come back in. But if he is, we're here. But yeah, so Red Seals, I get it, man. I was there with my biotech degree. All the ones after that weren't that hard, but like the biotech, that was my first shot in college. On top of it was biotech. For me, I had no experience in science at all. So like for me, that shit was like rough. For somebody who had a history in science before that, it probably wasn't that bad, but for me, it was pretty tough. But yeah, so I understand exactly. I maybe not exactly where you're coming from, but I definitely get that feeling of like, whew, right? And I get that, and I know that feeling that people don't want to talk about is, am I going to make if it's like this semester? Am I going to make it next semester? Well, just try to be happy right now. And yeah, I get it, dude. I was there. I was there in my own way, right? So I get it. AD, do you feel randomly intellectual because you have like 4 degrees? Well, okay, no, my four is this is what I'm gonna get in. That's what I'm gonna get into this video, right? So this dude is okay. So to answer your question, no. To answer your question, I don't even know where my degrees are. All right, I showed my girl this video, right, and I immediately showed her. Now, I did have some partial transcripts that I downloaded while I was in school at one point, and she's seen that. So I felt the need to like just show her like so she doesn't even think I might. Because here's the thing, me and my girl, we just had this conversation a week ago. What this video is gonna go over. We just had this conversation a week ago about quack doctors in America, and it was this black dude who was clearly like 19, and he made his own doctor's office, right? And by the way he was talking, I was telling my girl, I said, look, the way he's talking, he's wording it to steer away idiots, right? Because people who knows he's lying. But in the US, it's illegal for you to just call whatever school he said he went to and get his records, right? It's illegal, like you cannot just go call fucking University of Illinois and say, hey, did Wendell Radford go there? And what grades did he get? You can't just do that, right? And to break down the logic, I told her earlier today, like after we seen this video and we was laughing about it, I said, look, could you even call McDonald's and ask for if Sarah's working and when did she start working there? And like think, like could you even could you call Walgreens and just ask, hey, does Lauren Smith did Lawrence Smith work there and did she ever get promoted to general manager? No, they not gonna tell you that, random dude. Goob to you. You already know they not gonna do that. So like, you know what I mean? And that's what makes me question. Okay, the video that's what makes me question his law degree. Like I'm really questioning that shit. And to be honest, like I'm gonna go ahead and take the law degree as I'm gonna believe it. I'm gonna give him that doubt. I doubt it, but I'm going to give them that. I'm going to give them that, right? Because the next part about law is for anybody who is either working in law or is an attorney, some shit like that, you know, anybody who works in law, if somebody went to school to get that was a JUD or some shit like that, if you went to school and got that degree, right? In the world, if you don't work in that field, you are literally a reject all the way around, right? Like, because like if you don't work in that field, well, you must not be good at what you do. So if you're on Instagram making these little videos where you're like critiquing women's shapes of their bodies, but you have a law degree, dude, like something's not matching up. Like, but again, let's just believe it. Let's just believe everything this guy says. And I'm gonna because they roasted me. They roasted me on his channel. But we're gonna properly break this shit down, right? So let me catch up on what's up, Rana. Good morning. Oh, what's up, man? It's 5:38 p.m. here. JD, yeah, JD. I thought it was a JUD for some reason. Yeah, JD. Yeah. For people in law, like like if the person got that degree and they're not consumed in work with that degree, the world of employment regards them as almost worse than even they don't even have a bachelor's, an associate's degree, right? Now these things were known when I was coming up, because I was gonna do the law degree. Just yell hi real fast. Just say hi. They can't see you. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, baby. Hey, there's the little baby. There's a precious shaking the papa. Shaking the papa, but pico cheeks. Papa. Papa. He's so precious. He's so precious, baby. You know you're my little baby. You wanna go to mommy? Okay, go to mommy. Yeah. So when they was roasting me on Instagram, I have a family. And I barely had time for this, but I said, fuck it. Like, we gonna make time for this, because one thing that pisses me off is just stupidity. And I told my girl this morning. She seen me. I was like, ridiculous. I hate stupidity. I hate just like, now if you just don't know, Like if you just don't know and you're trying to learn, I don't have a problem with it. Like if you clearly or you were just mistaken or something like that, then I'm totally fine. But if you're like trying to like double down on something, right? And especially okay, if you're trying to double down on something that's like clearly just either wrong or you just don't know type of shit, and you're doubling down on, that's when it like drives me crazy. So in a situation like this where this dude's like trying to roast me, right? Or the people in his group is like roasting me. Like, dude, like I worked in universities. Literally 2 weeks ago, I just had a because I'm still in school. I'm still going to school. I'm in chapter 31, the vocational rehabilitation and employment, which is not what you think it is unless you were in the military, you were actually in it and you know what the reality of it is versus how it sounds, right? But anyway, I'm still in school, right? And I just had Goob you two. I just had this problem 2 weeks ago with my school counselor and my VA counselor, and my school counselor did not want to talk to my VA counselor, and I had to tell her no, it's actually legal for you to do it because they're paying for my school. So now they can. But we're gonna go into that in this video, right? This dude's a fucking clown. The only thing that again, I'm usually the most agreeable dude on earth, the most understanding person on earth, right? I'm a very giving person, all that shit, right? But when people double down on ignorance because they just want to believe some shit, that's the only thing that sends me off a fucking cliff. It's the only thing in life that just would just I'll just go in overdrive. Now again, I could be wrong. Like let's say like I can be wrong. Right, but we're gonna dive into this. Like but what makes me even more like frustrated is the fact that I just had this conversation with my school and my VA counselor from the military literally 2 weeks ago. That's what's even adding more insult to injury on this shit for me in dealing with this. Right, that's what's making it even. And on top of that, we're gonna dive into that law degree. We're gonna dive into that. I'm gonna go ahead and be brutal about it. That law degree, either it's fake or he did so bad in law that's why he's on Instagram making these videos with his shirt off and he hangs out in the gym on a $30 membership a month drinking muscle milk. We'll just go ahead and put that out there, right? Because at this rate, I don't see law degree anywhere in his perspective. Let's just say it's his perspective, right? I don't see law degree anywhere in any. The fact that I never studied law on a passionate level, and the fact that, well, I actually worked in education, so yeah, there's that. I actually worked in and my uncle was on the board of Wilberforce University, right? While I was going there, right? I seen behind the scenes. I know how probably your school owes money, right? I know how yours, I know, see in that finance department, see, you don't know that, but that finance department knows that they didn't pay the last 5 landscapers and they moved on to another one. See, you don't know that, but see, that university keeps that quiet. You don't know that, but that finance department knows it. The financial department knows that. Because you want to know why? Because I worked in them. Right? I used to have their records on a flash drive, and I randomly just deleted it because I gave it to the friend of mine who knew my ex-wife. I gave him my laptop and I gave him a pair of boots. I gave him some of my old Lacoste shoes. His American's name's David because I can't pronounce his African name. Well, no, Rana. Honestly, I did start this. I'll keep. I'm gonna clear. I did start it because I woke up in the morning and I was going through Facebook Reels and I seen this dude's video where he's like him and some girl. I think he's just honestly. I think he's just kind of like cyber stalking these women kind of thing. Like it's okay. So my channel is based off of bitches, right? But my channel is to teach men what bitches are actually saying and doing. This dude's channel. This is a grown ass man perusing Instagram just looking for women because their arms were a little photo edited out. This is a whole different situation. This shit is more mental illness and loneliness. My shit is helping men from losing thousands of dollars and divorce settlements and all that shit, right? And rebuilding after that, right? But again, like I'm frustrated because I can't stand flat out stupidity. And again, so if I'm wrong, I'm going to admit I'm wrong, but there's also other parts we're going to touch on in this video. So let's start it. And they roasted me in this comment section too. They let me have it, right?
There's always one. So, Wendell Radford. I just did a video on Donna Briggs where we confirmed that she does not have a degree from Georgetown University. Wendell left this comment on my video. He said, in case you weren't aware, probably because you never graduated from university yourself, it's illegal for the university to share actual information about any of their students. It's called FERPA. This is an unintentional fail. Wendell, a few things. First thing, I have a fucking law degree. And second thing, let's talk about FERPA. You said the F stood for federal. It actually...
Keep in mind, this is on Wikipedia, by the way. Keep in mind, a law student, somebody who has a fucking law degree is using Wikipedia as a work site. But let's keep going.
Actually stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And under the act, dates of attendance and degrees or awards received are things they're allowed to tell people. Somebody actually tried to tell you this and you said, my entire family worked in education.
Yes.
My uncle was on the board of my university.
Yes, he was.
I think you probably graduated from the same school that Donna Briggs did.
So Goob to you, let's go look up my uncle right now. Well, he passed away. He died when I first moved to Czech Republic. But let's go ahead and... So this is my uncle right here. He died in 2017. I came to Czech Republic in 2016. So here's his obituary. So this is my uncle who was on the board of the university that if it's going to load up, I don't know. Here he is. Yeah, so he died. I moved to Czech Republic in November 2016, and he died in 2017. So actually, it might be in his obituary because he went to Sinclair like I did. And he actually graduated from Wilberforce with me. And he went to University of Dayton, where I ended up going. And he ended up with a doctorate in higher education administration from Walden University. Oh, so it's not going to put his actual employment. But yeah, so this is my family, Goob you two. Yeah, my family, yes, my family. If you're trying to emphasize that, yes, we can go there. So let's look at his LinkedIn profile. Because they don't delete these when you die. I don't know what this is. One of them is the legit one. Yeah, I think this is it. Oh, I got to log in to join it. But he was a professor at Wilberforce, which is a HBCU. And I've always stated my honest opinion. I don't think HBCUs are great. But he was there, right? So let's go ahead and run it through one more time, right? From somebody who has a fucking law degree using Wikipedia as a source, because we're gonna break that down too.
There's always one. So, Wendell Radford. I just did a video on Donna Briggs where we confirmed that she does not have a degree from Georgetown University. Wendell left this comment on my video. He said, in case you weren't aware, probably because you never graduated from university yourself, it's illegal for the university to share actual information about any of their students. It's called FERPA. This is an unintentional fail. Wendell, a few things.
Yes.
First thing, I have a fucking law degree. And second thing, let's talk about FERPA. You said the F stood for federal. It actually stands for Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. And under the act, dates of attendance and degrees or awards received are things they're allowed to tell people. Somebody actually tried to tell you this and you said, my entire family worked in education. My uncle was on the board of my university.
Yes.
I think you probably graduated from the same school that Donna Briggs did.
Okay, now this is somebody who has a law degree, right? And is this is not adding up, to say the least, right? Because you have a law degree, and the best you can come up with is a $30 membership at a gym and some muscle milk. After that, that's the best shit you can come up with. But let's dive into the FERPA, which I did get the first part wrong because, okay, and I'm going to make an excuse. It was 8 a.m. and I just woke up and seen the shit off of drinking the night before. So I give you that, right? But here's the thing. I thought I was almost dumb as fuck because I do make dumbass mistakes. I'll admit that shit, right? But I worked in education. And what makes it worse is I just had this conversation with my current university for my other master's degree with them and the Veteran Affairs Office. I just had this conversation 2 weeks ago, dude. No more than 2 weeks ago. You know how many conversations I have with, you know how many times I'm sitting in a room full of, well, in front of I'm on a video chat in a room full of nobody with the lowest degree in the room is a master's, and I have to fight or either have to fight or talk or work with the room type of shit. Like, and then you get this dude. I have a fucking law degree, and the best shit you can come up with is to spend $30 on a gym membership and drink muscle milk. Like, this shit's not adding up. But anyway, let's go back to this. So, permitted disclosures. It's like I said, I could be wrong, but and if I'm wrong, I'll happily say that yeah, I fucked up because I do fuck up. I fuck up a lot. I fuck up probably more than Goob U2 does. Right? I will happily admit that. Right? It's part of me. I love myself, if you can't tell. Right? I fuck up. So if I fuck up, I'll take it. Whatever. Right? But again, like I said, what's worse is that again, with the argument he's trying to push, I literally like I'm in university right now, still at 37 years old. I will continue learning until the day I die, right? Because I have actual character within myself. Right? I will continue to go to school. So what does this say about permitted disclosures right here? And I could be wrong. Maybe I misread it. FERPA allows schools to disclose information from a student's FERPA allows schools to disclose information from a student's education record without consent to the following blah blah blah. Other schools, which blah blah. So here, wait, hang on, fuck. What am I doing? Schools disclose information from a student's educational record without consent to the following parties under the following conditions. Oh yeah. So only these schools can only these areas. If I'm and now again, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. Maybe I misread it. If I misread it, fine. But again, from my life experience of being in school now, I just had a scenario. So only these institutions can get the educational record without consent. Right? And let's go through this and let's see if Goob to You fits any of this criteria. School officials with legitimate educational interests, Goob to You doesn't fit that. Other schools to which a student is transferring, Goob U2 doesn't fit that. Specified officials for audit or evaluation purposes, Goob U2 doesn't fit that. Appropriate parties in connection with financial aid to a student, Goob U2 doesn't fit that. Organizations conducting certain studies for or on behalf of the school, Goob U2 doesn't fit that. Accrediting organizations, Goob U2 doesn't fit that. Appropriate officials in case of health and safety emergencies, Goob U2 doesn't fit that. State and local authorities within the juvenile justice system pursuant to specific state law, Goob U2, you don't fit that. To comply with a judicial order or lawfully issued subpoena, Goob U2, you don't fit any of this shit. You just a random dude on Instagram who supposedly has a law degree and is caught up over some hussy on Instagram. And on top of that, these type of dudes will say anything to uneducated motherfuckers and they just believe it because he said it with confidence. And this is what I'm afraid for anybody watching, anybody who touches the internet. Look out for dudes like him because see, this dude has a law degree and this is the best shit that he can come up with in life. Now, for those of you who know law degrees, you know, for those of you who have law, it's almost like a medical degree. A law degree and a medical degree are in the same boat. If you go to school for medical shit and you go off and you ain't touching no medical shit, that career, you are almost a degenerate to that career and lifestyle, right? Because that's a culture, that's a lifestyle you keep up. That's not some shit you just go working at Hardee's real quick whenever you feel like it. No, law don't work like that. But you get this is the girl that he's hooked on for. I don't know what they got going on, but maybe this is gonna play it. Oh no, it's not gonna play it. But so he had the video that I went on. Actually, let me do this. I'll show you the video that he tried to. The guy tries to say that he emailed the school, and some schools may let him get away with that, right? But I'm gonna find a video that this dude tried to hang on, let me do this. Some more options. Yeah, I can airdrop it to myself. Where we at? Come on, airdrop. Let's do this. Hang on. This shit is pathetic. But see, like I'm saying, this is what I try to tell you guys. Like, look out. Like with the internet, motherfuckers will say anything just to get you to click on their shit. Motherfuckers will literally say some of anything to get you to click on it. So here, okay, here it is. Here's the video right here. I got it. Actually, let's leave that up. Let's leave this up too. So this is the video. The dude, he's like wrapped up on. I don't know what him and his girl got going on, but it's really none of my business. I really don't care. So he's like wrapped up on this woman right now. So he supposedly just emailed Georgetown University and they just like emailed him back. Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. Like, I mean, he could have got lucky and found a dingbat working in there. I'll give him that. He could have got lucky, but that shit's not legal, dude. I mean, so this is the email this clown supposedly wrote. The reason why I'm saying clown in good faith, this is clown shit, right? I don't call McDonald's. I don't email McDonald's randomly and be like, hey, did Lauren Peters work there from 2016 to 2000? No. Think, Goob, you too. Really think. This is why I'm doubting. This is why I'm doubting the law degree. Now, when I showed the video to my girl, she immediately said that the law degree looked fake, right? But she's in Europe. Like, we're in Europe. For those of you who do care, who may see this, I live in Europe. I'm from Ohio, but I live in Prague right now. When she seen it, the first thing she said was that law degree is not real, right? But I'm gonna take it as the law degree is real. Who in their right mind? This is some stalker shit, right? In my opinion, like I'm not going out there searching. What was that bitch named Dorothy from Second Day Fiance or some shit like that? The thought would have never crossed my mind to be like, I'm sitting down chilling with my own life and my son and my spouse and my life in Prague. I'm traveling different countries. I have my own life. I have my own studies, my own hobbies. There has never been one time in my eventful life where I thought, you know what I should do? I should go find the school that Dorothy went to and I should ask them if she actually. That shit is never, because I have a fucking life, dude. I have a fucking. There hasn't been one time. I don't know what country I'm going to be in next week. I don't know what city, village, I don't know what language I'm going to have to speak next week. Right? This is clown shit, dude. This is clown shit. Here. Can you read that? Can you read my beer? Hold on. Let me make this bigger. Just here. I got enough problems trying to read my own fucking beer. Video capture. Here we are. Can you read what that says? Can you read my fucking beer? Like, I have enough problems trying to read my own fucking beer. The last thing I'm gonna do is sit somewhere as a grown ass man and be like, you know what? I think I need to go find Dorothy. I think I need to go find Dorothy to see if she went to school. Like, this motherfucker is a fuck man. Like, see, this type of shit is wild. But he crossed the wrong motherfucker. See, I actually have a fucking eventful life and a life that I'm happy with. I mean, and genuinely accomplished. Right? The last thing I'm thinking about is to go. But okay, with all that aside, who the fuck? Now, if his degree had been in like economics or like chemistry, I said, okay, well maybe he has no legal awareness of this, right? Because again, I worked in education and higher education when I was in Ohio, right? So I know how this works. This dude seriously, supposedly wrote Georgetown University, Hello, just as a random motherfucker, right? This comes from a guy. I've tried to open orphanages. I've tried to like. You don't just if you go up to a legitimate institution, you are a fucking weirdo creep nobody. Okay. Now again, he might have got lucky. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he got lucky and he just found like some idiot that was like a new person that was working there, right? This dude with a law degree. I am wondering if you could confirm that Donna Briggs attended and graduated from Georgetown with either a bachelor's of business administration or a master's in public relations, anytime from 1980 to present. For those of you in the white collar educated world, you know how ridiculous that shit shouldn't even been replied to. I honestly don't think that this is even a real email. I don't think this is real. For anybody who is in education, who've worked in education, who's even just seen any bit of behind the scenes in education, you know that this is everything's possible, but hey, some things are highly improbable. And this is very highly improbable. Just not possible. So he's stating that he sent her an email, somebody at Georgetown, and this is the reply that he supposedly got back, right? Our records show that this person attended for one semester as a non-credit student. Sincerely, yeah, like I'm not believing that. I just don't believe no. And we're gonna dive in. Well, I already dove into who has under FERPA what he tried to roast me on. I don't think Goob U2 fits any of this criteria. And then we can go into here. So this even breaks down to the letters or statements that are related to the student's admissions to an educational institution, application for employment, or a recipient of an honor or honorary recognition. They get under the code of federal regulations. What limitations exist on the right to inspect and review records? It's right here, dude. But where does this guy go for his sources?
There's always one.
Let's go look at where he went for his source. For somebody who has a law degree, let's look where he went to his source. It's fucking unbelievable. See, this is why I'm afraid for people to just watch. I think it should be illegal. I told her, most people on earth, it should be illegal for them to be adults. I think most people on earth, it should not be adults. He's using Wikipedia. But here's the thing. Even when he dives into it, he's focused on the fact that I use federal instead of family, right? I'm not believing this dude is. I don't think he got a law. Okay, either he got the law degree and he did so bad that he now has to go to Instagram and lift weights for a living, or he's just completely lying about his law degree. And I say it's a strong toss up either way. And another, because the other part that really rubbed me the wrong way, because he took a picture of the law degree in front of a Corvette, right? So that's him trying to flex in front of a fucking Corvette. My dad got that shit parked in his fucking garage next to my BMW back in Ohio. This is like this fucking clown, man. Like the world is filled with fucking clown. Well, I'm gonna pause it on that Corvette. Because he thought he was doing big dog shit. Motherfucker, I'm right. I'm drinking a beer you can't pronounce, motherfucker. Okay, yeah, okay, now, Ron, I want to make clear. Wikipedia, yeah, I will agree, Rana. I will agree with you on that 100%. Wikipedia, Wikipedia has more, I would say more than not legit shit. But the thing is, this dude is supposedly has as he quotes it, a fucking law degree. Okay? And okay, at that once you're trying to stir up an argument or something like that, and you're trying to use facts, FAX, you're trying to use facts, Wikipedia is going to destroy a lot of that credibility. Now, I agree with you, Rana. I agree with you. Because I used Wikipedia while I was in my biotech degree. Now, even back then, it didn't work much because biotech, the internet just wasn't as good as it is now. But I would use Wikipedia. You can get some great information, but it would be like Donald Trump quoting Wikipedia. with stats. Like once you get like so high in the world, you can't use Wikipedia as a source anymore. Like you're going to lose a lot of credibility from relatively speaking, like the higher class of people. They're immediately going to discredit you. So you have to start pulling. You have to start pulling .gov like I just did. You're going to have to start pulling .gov. Well, Wikipedia is technically a .org website, but you have to like you're gonna have to start getting like legitimate higher end fucking yeah, and then this fucking Corvette. See, none of this is adding up to me, right? So he has a fucking law degree, right? But his fighting argument is to go back and use Wikipedia, and his fucking law degree is taken in front of a fucking Corvette, and his fucking law degree led to him doing this shit. Working out. If I could log, well, you guys can log into his shit, his channel. His channel is just filled with him, just like this dude. This is a grown ass man, right? Going through Instagram and finding any picture he can find of like a woman working out, and like the arm would be like edited just a little bit, like it'd be edited, and that's what this grown ass man with a law degree is doing. Like this is fucking sad, dude. Like, yeah, I mean, it's fucking sad. What's up, Jen? But yeah, but the thing is, man, like I said, man, there's so many clowns out there who. Here's the thing, and I told my girl, look, there's just parts of my life that are just so unbelievable. I don't even bring it up. There's been times where I was telling my girl this morning, where my dad, where like I had an issue with the U.S. in here for some reason. I still can't remember what it was, but I remember the problem would have been much easier if my dad would have helped me. But I remember at the time thinking like this sounds like a scam. I wouldn't even trust this if I heard it. So I just never told him. I just figured it out myself. There's so many parts about my life that are just so unbelievable. Like I just can't even talk about it because you're just not going to believe it, right? It's just too far out there. It's just too ridiculous. And what I'm finding is the older I get, the more difficult it gets to relate to people, right? And then when I hear like clowns like this dude, like none of this shit is fucking like none of it is adding up. None of it's adding up, right? As far as him being competent in his field, none of this shit's adding up, and none of it, right? Now I could work independently with my field, right? Well, he could too, right? He could open his own little law firm and do whatever the fuck he wants to do. In some kind of way, he could do it. There's a reason why he's on Instagram doing this shit. What's up, J1? I need to fix the Discord channel. I'm so bad with social media, man. Like I don't even know how to do it. Are you keeping this live up? Yeah, I'll keep it up. Hey, baby. Like we got our guest speaker again. Hey, baby. You going back to mommy? Okay. See, instead of going through Instagram and looking at like pictures, scrolling through profiles of women to catch 2 centimeters of her arm off, I have a baby and I have a life. This is a fucking clown, man. Like, look, and I'm saying again, like you cannot believe everything you hear, see on it. Okay, let's put it back on this real fast. You cannot believe everything you hear or see on the internet because there's always some fucking clown that's going to tell you anything you want, anything they think you want to hear to get just so they can get your click, your like, or whatever, build their social media traffic, anything. There's always a fucking clown, right? This is nothing but a bottle of steroids and a $30 membership to go to Planet Fitness. Okay, this is look again. I'm drinking a beer this motherfucker can't pronounce. All right, and on top of that, just this alone. Again, goob you too. I don't think you're a school with legitimate educational interests. Okay, you don't want daddy right now because I'm yelling at the fucking computer. But he's all right. What you doing? You having fun, baby? You guys can't see him. Hang on. What you doing, baby? What you doing? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, see. That right there is why I'm not scrolling Instagram looking for slightly misshapen women with a fucking law degree. It's a fucking joke. If it doesn't add up, you subtract it. Just notice the acting. Just notice the acting by Baby Kratos like he's crying. Oh yeah, he's all right, man. We live. What's up, man? What's up, Elijah? AD, you're right. Several of my clients are lawyers. This dude was not move, act, this dude does not move, act, or speak like a lawyer or even a lawsuit. Yeah, that's the same thing I said. Like I'm gonna go ahead and just believe him and just accept it, but I don't. Here's one thing that I have noticed about anybody who I've ever met who was a lawyer, who had anything to do with law, like in the white collar section. They all had, like you said, like they all have this certain way they move and walk and talk. Like it's this, like it's almost like this constant. I don't mean to like degrade anybody who's in that field now. That maybe, I don't, just as a natural person, I don't mean to degrade, but anybody who I've ever known who's worked in law in the white collar side, they've all kind of had this like way they walk and talk, like almost like there's a constant act going on. Like even when they're not acting, it feels like this is constant like dance that's going on when you're like hanging out with them or talking to them. Like they're never like quite like completely unfiltered there. Like it's always like this. I feel like it's this dance, right? Like you never really feel connected to them. Everybody I've ever met, at least. But yeah, this dude, there's nothing about this. But again, he can just you got to look out for social. Like just it's social media, dude. Like it's a fucking clown. Like it's social media. None of this shit is adding up to be. I mean, but here's the thing. Like I genuinely hope that he does have a law degree. I hope that he has a way to feed himself. Like I hope that he has some type of life skills. I hope that he has some skill outside of scrolling through Instagram and just looking for women that are slightly misshapen as a grown ass man. Like I hope that he has this. I don't hope any down parts in life upon this dude. But in the context of this, he's a fucking clown, right? Just flat out. That's what it is. He's a fucking clown, and his dudes like, and see, and it's guys like him that lead the world into being as retarded as it is now. It's guys just like him who do that, right? Again, between here and here, the Code of Federal Regulations and permitted disclosures on the CDC's website about FERPA. Because if you go to FERPA, they're not going to dive in specifically to this, to who can actually do it without consent. They'll just say, yeah, you could do it without consent, right? They're not going to see, but where this dude who's supposedly a lawyer, it still shocks me on why he didn't know he didn't know that. If he's supposedly if he has as his quote, a fucking law degree, how did he not know that? Right? And this was page last review 2022. So okay, well maybe okay. So here's the thing, Goob, you two. I'll give you the benefit. I'll say this. I was wrong because the last time this page was reviewed was about a year and a half ago. So maybe the law changed. I'll give you that benefit. Maybe the law changed and I'm just a dumb idiot who didn't know and I was wrong. I'll give you that. Again, I was just on the phone with my university and my VA counselor, and my university did not want to talk to my VA counselor until I told them they could because they're paying for it, which fits right here. It fits Rule 4. Appropriate parties in connection with financial aid to a student, with aiding with finances, not like student loans, but aiding with finances. That's what it's going to mean, right? But again, Goob, you two. I'm going to say, look, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was me. Look, maybe the law changed in the last year and a half, and I'm the idiot. Because you got a fucking law degree. Quoting Wikipedia as a source. You got a fucking law degree, dude. You have a law degree. Yeah. Yeah. So right here, this is probably like right where he stopped, right? So here's it, like, see right here, the without consent is what got is what's gonna, and see, this is what I try to tell people about the medical field, about anything, pretty much any field that goes a bit in depth. You can't just Google like one side of it and then know it, because you may be lacking this whole part in the world, right? So like if you're looking up anything that has to do with like with genetics, anything along those lines, like you can't just Google, "Hey, my baby ear is bigger than the right. What does that mean?" Oh well, yes, guess you got bilateral Crohn's disease, and motherfuckers out there, yeah, my baby got bilateral Crohn's disease. That's what a Goob YouTube and motherfuckers who like that would do, right? Because they don't know how to actually read in depth, right? Like it's fucking sad. Like dudes like him, these motherfuckers. I mean, he probably has some entertaining content. I'm not gonna look, and I hope he does. Again, I hope the best for him, right? So here's the thing: as a fellow social media type of dude, like I hope the best for him, right? But for my real purpose, as trying to help men, stay the fuck away from this dude, right? Women can watch this shit because women, they could just do whatever they want later. They could sound like complete fucking idiots, and somebody still wants to give them some dick. But as a man, no, stay away. This dude will lead you down a path to be more fucked up. Again, and with a dude like Goob, you too, like really think, dude. Like again, think. If you call McDonald's and you ask, "Hey, okay," matter of fact, okay, just to make this shit even more clear, we're gonna go back to the email he sent, and we're gonna flip it in another scenario, right? Just like how I always flip like the context of men and women, right? No, it wasn't this video. It was the one. It was this one. Like how like I always flip the context of, why is it not playing now? Wasn't it just playing? I could have swore it was just playing. Where he went and he was talking to where he emailed Georgetown, right? Why is it not fucking working? Oh no, wait. It was here. Or maybe you guys couldn't see this the whole time. Could you guys not see that the whole time? This. So here, to break this down logically, right? I'm gonna flip scenarios to show you how dumb this shit looks and sounds. Just how like when women and men do something, and I always tell you, like, well, if it sounds like, if you feel hurt if a man did it, then just imagine if a woman did it, and how would you feel? So I'm gonna show you another area how dumb this shit sounds, right? Of what he claims he emailed Georgetown University. Okay, so here it is right here. He claims for some woman he's like on his channel, and he's trying to expose her as fake for. I mean, I really don't know why, because he has a fucking law degree, so he should have bigger, better fish to fry instead of hounding to see if some random woman got a degree from Georgetown. Like I don't like again, you have a fucking law degree, dude. What, you should have bigger fish to fry, but you don't, because I don't think you have a law degree. But even if you did, you must not be good enough to use it. So anyway, let's continue. Um, Yeah, so he supposedly wrote to Georgetown, "Hello, comma, I am wondering if you can confirm that Donna Briggs attended and graduated from Georgetown with either a bachelor's of business administration or a master's in public relation, anytime from 1980 to present." Right? There's no sign of, "Hello, yeah, I'm the president of," or I'm blah blah blah. It's just, "Hello, I'm just a random motherfucker walking down the street. I just wondered if she went to school." Okay, now with that, imagine how silly that would sound if he had either written that or walked into a McDonald's or called a McDonald's and said the same shit about a fry flipper in the back room. Do you think that McDonald's would tell you if, what's her name, Donna Briggs worked at McDonald's, some random dude from 1980 to now? Like, do you think that shit would be comfortable? You again, and like this scenario, he could have found a fucking idiot. He could have found a fucking idiot that was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. But again, in reality, bruh, no. You're not a school official with legitimate education interests, etc. You none of that. You're none of that, bro. You're none of that. So I don't know where. Yeah, you're none of that. Just stop it. Get some help. Take your fucking law degree and actually go do something with what at this point I wouldn't trust you with your damn law degree at this point. And I'm just being honest. At this point, if with so much shit that's like compounding on top of each other, that's looking worse and worse to worse the more I think about it, I see why you don't use your law degree because they're not gonna trust you. So you better take your little $30 a month, go to Planet Fitness, and hope motherfuckers just be scared of you because you just work out all day because you got nothing else to do with your life as a grown ass man. Flat out. And I don't mean any harm by that, right? I'm just being real about it, right? I'm just being 100% real about it. MG Verde, look, man, probably, probably. He probably because one of those chick. Well, because his reels would have come up a bit, and I always thought he was a little awkward, not just because of him pointing out that women are like photoshopping themselves, because we all know all women are going to do it, but it was more from the perspective that he was doing it in a sense of like trying to sound cool about it, but clearly looking like he has some type of vengeance towards women. But he just kind of kept coming up in my feed, so I stumbled on him this morning when I woke up and left that comment. So this dude made a whole video about this shit. So yeah, Goob to you, yeah, make a video about that, bro. If you Goob, matter of fact, I don't even know how to like. So if anybody knows how to like tag him or something like that, because I don't know how to tag motherfuckers, if you could tag him and just put this in there, right? And just put it on his channel some kind of way because he trying to roast me like that. And here's I'm not even roasting him. I'm just stating fact, right? Nothing in my shit was of roasting material. It's stating, yeah. So I don't know if you can see this. So he wrote me back. I have a law degree. Laughed my fucking ass off, and I said even worse. There's no excuse why you shouldn't have known this then, right? That was like law degree, bro. But here's the thing. That's not even like what scares me more is that there's a okay, hold on. Where we go? What scares me more in life, okay, and I'll be honest about it, right? And I'm not gonna try to do the whole like tell women what they want to hear because I'm trying to get fucking pussy out and fuck that shit. But here's what I'm more afraid of, right? Is a dude like this? Can I make it? No, I can't make it bigger, right? Okay. What I'm more afraid of is a dude like this who is a grown ass man who supposedly has a law degree and his profession is to go scrounging around random Instagram accounts to find the one picture of a woman that was photoshopped. Like that I'm more afraid of that than because motherfuckers already they not fucking with him in law clearly because he's doing this shit, right? What I'm more afraid of is a motherfucker like this out there in the world combing through Instagram accounts looking for young girls who are influencers and like just essentially just randomly stalking Instagram accounts to find Photoshop pictures as a grown ass man, right? As a grown ass man, I get sent shit from my YouTube channel. I'm not going through the shit like that. This is a grown ass man with a law degree looking like that and stalking bitches on the internet to make a career off of it, right? I'm more scared of that part of him than anything else. Let's be real about it. I bet he never took the bars. Y'all probably not. He probably couldn't get in. So yeah, so he probably could. If I'm not mistaken, like you can get. If I'm not mistaken, um you can get the law degree, but to actually become licensed, that's a whole nother problem. That's a whole nother scenario. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that that's how it works for pretty much any degree above bachelor's to get like That's like one of those relatively like independent type of degrees. You can work completely independently. You have to be licensed for it. And if I had to guess, I don't even believe that I don't believe his law degree in general. If he, again, if he actively used Wikipedia as a source, right? As in that, okay, when I'm in an argument with a motherfucker, I'm never going to use Wikipedia. I thought that was common knowledge, especially for graduate degrees and above. That's just common knowledge. Like when I write a paper, right? That's just unspoken rule in higher ed. You don't use Wikipedia. That is literally the unspoken rule in higher education, right? So unless I'm just like moving fast or something like that, like I'm not gonna use. You're not gonna find me ever quoting Wikipedia unless I'm just moving fast or some shit, like trying to get some shit out. And because I know it's real, like I know what I'm really talking about, and that's just the fastest thing I can find. But when you count also that he's in law and did that shit, that's a whole nother level of fucked up, dude. Again, here we go right here. So let's read. Let's recount. So Goob to you supposedly emailed Georgetown and got this verification of attendance. This is what he wrote. He wrote so he specific so he's claiming he wrote the student records at Georgetown University, right? So either he's completely lying or Georgetown didn't know about this side of FERPA, right? They didn't know the definition of without consent. Either Georgetown University, hold on, let me move this so you guys can see it. Either Georgetown University did not know about these laws or they did not know the definition of without consent, what that really meant in reality. Not just without consent does not mean Joe Blow working at Target can go in there and do this shit. Without consent means to the following parties or under the following conditions. That's what without consent means, right? And again, see, it's guys like this is what leads motherfuckers to be what guys like him is what influence. He's an influencer. He influences the rejection of critical thinking. That's what guys like him do, and that's what I'm so afraid of. One, I'm afraid that a dude like him is stalking women on Instagram, and two, guys like him are just speaking to people, and they can be like some people don't need to be heard, right? Some people. I told my girl, out of every 10 people, I would say at least 3 of them should not legally be allowed to be an adult. And the first time that I came across it was when I worked at a factory called Delphi in Dayton, Ohio, right? And actually, a good friend of mine, his name's Brandon. I met him there. He made car parts. I met Brandon there. We were making struts for cars. I was fucking that shit up because they paid us like shit and I didn't care. Anyway, when I worked at this job, I ended up I remember I made business cards for fixing computers because back then fixing computers you can make a good side hustle doing that back then. So I printed off business cards to say like IT. You could just write anything on it as long as the card looks good, right? And this was 20 years ago, about almost 20 years ago. So I don't remember exactly what I wrote on it, but I remember I would hand them out to people at work. Well, where Brandon was working, they found one of my cards and they brought me back to work with them to run an entire assembly line full of shit. But I was the tech, right? I made sure the whole assembly line worked, right? So since I was the tech, I was essentially over roughly 6 people, I think 6 or 7 people who worked like each station on that line, right? And that was when it first dawned on me that some people should not legally be allowed to be an adult, right? Because I still remember this one black dude. I remember working with him. All he had to do was pick these pieces up and just put it in a box, and he couldn't do that shit right. And I had to keep coming around and telling him, right? But it would happen like all the way around the fucking whatever. It's like a big assembly line. Now, to be fair, I'm gonna be bragging. I remember I did end up breaking a record for struts made in one shift. I think I got to like 1,500 or something like that, and that was the record. I broke the record by like 300 pieces because I kept the machine running smooth the whole time. And now I'm just bragging about that because I still remember that. And I remember because I was young then. And I remember the older people. Also, this is just a side rant. The older people didn't want to listen to me because I was younger, right? And I knew it. So I remember like they would leave early for break, and because they were just treat me like shit because I was the young kid, and they would leave early for break, come back late from break, and I'll just be out there running it by myself. And I said, you know what? Like I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to work with it, and that's just what it is, right? And they did that for about maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks. And then after that, like they loved me, dude. Like they loved me. The older people loved me. And I kept in contact with her name was Eddie. It was like a nickname, but we called her Eddie. And she was this older black woman. And I stayed in contact with her for years after that. But they remember they used to treat me like shit because I was the kid who was like essentially their boss. So they would leave for break early, come back late, fuck up shit on purpose. I never complained one time. I just said, fuck it. This is life. I'm gonna make it work. And they ended up loving me for that. But yeah, that's my quick rant about Delphi. Sometimes I miss that job. It was terrible, but I miss that job sometimes. But yeah, even in college, we aren't allowed to cite Wikipedia, and you're told that by professors. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This dude is. I don't. I'm just not buying his fucking. I'm not buying his story. I'm not buying his law degree. Again, with his law degree, either it's fake or he did so bad in law that he can't actually work in law. One or two. I'm not buying it. Too much. It it would be like, okay, so for those of you who know cars at least a little bit, it would be like it would be like, let's say like a mechanic, right? If he's supposed to be a mechanic, he would come to you and say, "Yeah, yeah, you could put water where the oil goes in November." Or like you as so anybody who knows cars, you know that that water is going to freeze, and when it freezes, it's going to expand, and it's going to start cracking shit all in all in the engine, right? Because that's where the oil goes, right? Like you would know that, right? But for somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, they would say it, right? Or they would validate somebody who would say that. Say, yeah, yeah, it's November 15th. Yeah, go ahead, put water in that motherfucking oil where the oil goes. You ain't worry about no oil, bro. Like, see, a mechanic knows immediately, yeah, don't do that. Cause you gonna bust that whole engine up doing that. If it freezes, that engine gonna be busted when you go back out there, right? Because my dad's a mechanic. My mother had her master's, but my dad's a mechanic. My mother, she went to UC when she got her. Because I remember I used to go with them to UC when she got her master's. I remember that. And even and with my mother, like little things with her, like there's just little things. See, this is the other part with social media. See, for people who actually live life, like we can feed for people who've lived life in any real way, like how to you know how to just sense how motherfuckers like walking, talking, moving, if they're legit or if they're like completely bullshit you, right? Like if you've been like a tennis player, you can tell by somebody who says they're a tennis player that no, these motherfuckers don't play tennis. They probably played for like 2 weeks when they was 9 or something like that. But like a tennis player can recognize a tennis player, right? A basketball player can recognize a basketball player, and an educated person can recognize if that person did well in education or not. Especially me, because I worked as a tutor, I worked in the financial department, I worked in the bursar's office. I probably worked more. I just can't rattle off right now. And these were between Sinclair. I was an ambassador at Sinclair at a community college, which I've always said what the reality of the community. I've never tried to hype up my degrees at all. I went to relatively bad schools. I'm not gonna lie. As a community college goes, um, but yeah, you know how to. But see, people who don't know. So like this dude, see, he thinks he's slick. He think he can get away with that shit. And the only people who will buy it are people who are like underneath this shit, right? I know what he's trying to do. Right, this is clown shit, dude. Don't listen to mother flat out. Now, I hope his social media career does well. I hope he can feed himself, right? As a philanthropist, don't listen to this motherfucker. All right, as a philanthropist, don't listen to him. Now, again, I hope his channel does great. I hope he gets all the millions and billions and fucks all the bitches he wants and eats whatever his favorite food is the day he dies. As a philanthropist, right? But like as a philanthropist, like don't listen to this motherfucker, right? Just don't. Just don't. But you be better off just going. You would be better off going to a university and just sitting in the grass and waiting for kids to come along and just tell you some random knowledge. You'd be better off doing that instead of listening to this motherfucker in life. Right? In life. You'd be better off. You better just go into a library and sitting down in the middle of the motherfucker, no chair or nothing, and just wait for a motherfucker to say, hey, blah, 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 blah. You'd be better off in that world than listening to this goofy shit. This is clown shit, dude. I'm telling you, don't listen to this motherfucker. Hell, let's grab some books. I'm looking at because they got spider webs and shit on them. Because I've been in the other books now because I've already finished most of these books. But I'll tell you what. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into my book collection that's like right next to my bed. But some of these do have spider webs. I haven't touched these books in a while. This is what we're gonna do. This is going to be a while, but we're going to go through all these books. Either I've read them or I've touched on them or I'm going to jump or I'm going to go at them at another time. Because I have another stack of books I'm working through now. Oof. But this is what we're going to do. To keep you from clowns like him. This dude's a fucking clown. Okay, hang on. This is what we're going to do. And this is just one stack of books. This is just one stack. Hang on, let me make this bigger. Why isn't this fucking... Hang on. Stay away from fucking clowns, man. So, okay, so this is a book I just got from the municipal... This wasn't from the... No, this is just a municipal library. I got this from the physics department in Charles University, Hunting of the Court. But I haven't read much of this, though. I got to get back to that. So, let's go... So, the Armenian Insurrection. I haven't read much of this either, I have to admit. So, here's another one. I started and I kind of like got started on other shit, so I haven't read much of it. So, I'm not even going to act like I read much of it. I was looking for this book a while back because there was some other dude on Facebook who was talking shit about St. Augustine and saying how, what did he say? He said St. Augustine thought he was a degenerate. St. Augustine did not think he was a degenerate. You want to know why? Because I read this book before my son was born while I was walking around. I'm sorry, after my son was born. He wasn't with me, though. And I was walking around Prague with this book in my back pocket. This is St. Augustine Confessions. There was another clown on Facebook trying to, like, just making a completely bogus lies about St. Augustine that just weren't true. And I had to say, no, dude, I had his confessions in my back pockets while walking down the streets of Prague, okay? Like, you're lying. Again, you got to watch motherfuckers on the internet. Here is Lucius Seneca, which is one of my favorite that I've found so far. Lucius Seneca. Here is, which I thought this was a bad book for, but not because of educational reasons, but just because too much emotion went into it. Oh yeah, because I have other medical books, so I have this, but this really isn't like. It's a book, but it's not like it's a medical book. So let's see. Oh, this was given to me, and I haven't touched. I haven't touched this. This was given to me, and I completely forgot to touch it. If you're watching, man, I'm still here. Yeah, these books kind of like end up falling into my other stack, so I haven't touched these books actually. This was great. I'd highly recommend this. And this book is like $5, dude. It's not expensive at all. Not even $5. Let's see. This book is just about quotes. It's just random quotes that Winston Churchill said. Let's see. So here's histology, and microscopic anatomy. Here's how to practice biological and medical genetics. And this is just one stack of books on that. This is about a skeleton, just skeleton. Well, because it's in Czech, and I had to buy the medical books from Czech Republic, so it's in Czech and English. This was actually, I really enjoy basic immunology. This is basic immunology, but I really enjoyed this book, though. That was really good. Medical genetics. glance. Elements of medical genetics. Clinical anesthesia. And again, this is just one stack of books. That's just one. I have there's two more over there, a little stack over there, another stack up there. There's some checkbooks over there, and I have I think two more stacks in the other room where I used to live stream, and I got some on the table out there that goes into why is this? Oh, I'm trying to move this back. So yeah, so when it comes to these things, man, like now I'm not saying everybody who reads a lot of books is necessarily intelligent because there could be still complete morons who, and I didn't even bring up. I always wanted to read this book too, just to see what it's about. I bought this a while back. I don't know anything about the woman, so because I read it here, so she had like ties with like Barbie with the Barbie doll. Yeah, she had ties with this, so it was like $1, so I bought it. But I haven't touched it yet. I'm going to read it one day just to get to it. But I'm still reading Little Women right now. But yeah. That's my fucking bug. Let me kill this bug real fast. But yeah, fucking clowns, man. Like, just stay away from fucking clowns. Well, AD, you are more humble about your success. That's because you actually respect the intelligence of your audience. Can't say the same about this guy. Well, yeah. Because see, that's the thing. I'll say so with my degrees. Like my girl, she's never. I never bring up my degrees. Never. It never comes up in a conversation. I don't even know where they are. My dad has some of them because I remember he put them in like plastic. Because I remember when I got my biotech degree, I remember I drove down to his house and I asked him if he wanted it because if not, I was gonna throw it away. So my dad has my biotech degree and my health and human services degree. I know he has those two. Now I don't know what happened to the other degrees and certificates. I don't know. I think one of them got sent to my ex-wife's house. I think one of my certificates got because in my information with one school it still comes up as her address. So I think one of them got shipped there, but I don't talk to her, so I don't know where it is. I see here's the other part with guys. See, I don't walk around and define myself by my 6-pack abs, by my 8.5-inch dick, but by my degrees, none of that. I know I got it. I don't have to walk around. You don't hear me talk about this shit all fucking day. You would never know, right? See, when people actually have things of value, right? When they actually within themselves, they don't have to always bring it up, right? By the time they're bringing it up, that means that they're lacking, severely lacking, all right? Because I don't even think to bring it up, right? Just things in my life. Either they're just too far fetched to believe, or I just don't bring it up. Right? Remember, let's see if I still have a 6-pack. I won't be working out. Well, yeah, there it is. Still right there. There it is. And not one steroid was used in the process of it. But see, but you're not gonna see me all on Instagram going. You're not gonna see me on Instagram doing that, right? I'm not pulling out my dick and walking down the fucking street, right? Because I know I got a big dick. I know I got 8-pack abs. I know I have a good body, right? I know my education. I know what I've done with my life. I know my personality. I know my interests, and I know most of my weaknesses that I'm aware of. I don't have to walk around and wear it on my fucking 5 head because I'm bald. All right, I don't have to print that shit on my 5 head. Right? I don't have to make a whole Instagram channel trying to save my ego at 2 a.m. so I can look at it and be like, yeah, I did that one time. I don't even think like that. It's just not even, you know what I mean? Because I've done enough with my fucking life. I have a life, right? Like, these are fucking clowns. Again, stay away from clowns, man. We're gonna leave it on here. Stay away from fucking clowns. They're fucking clowns, dude. A fucking clown. fucking clown. Like, stay away from clowns. And a six pack, what does a six pack don't mean shit, dude. Like, a six pack is not, muscles don't mean, I mean, muscles are like cool to look at. It's cool to look at. It's cool to think about. But in today's day and age, muscles don't really mean a lot unless you just want it, right? Like, it's just this, it's become this, muscles have become an iPhone, right? Like, motherfuckers don't need an iPhone. They just want an iPhone because it's an iPhone and they know motherfuckers respect it, right? And that's what a six pack ain't shit, man. Like, having pecs and biceps and quads, all that shit, it's nothing, dude. I mean, it's cool to think about. It's something, it gives you a goal to work towards. But like in the whole scheme of things, there's no real use or need for it, right? There's no use or need for it at all. And you wanna know the weird part? Another weird part is like these motherfuckers who are like real into working out and shit. Like the and see, this is what you would also learn by reading. See, like the ancient Greeks that they're trying to emulate, right? The ancient Greeks, if you actually know how to read and read into their perspectives, coming across reading their writings, right? The ancient Greeks thought that they were the lesser humans and the ones before them were the real motherfuckers, right? So when it comes to all this working out and all, like dude, like that doesn't, like, them ancient Greek motherfuckers were not walking around looking like that. But they got in their head, because if you look on my Instagram channel, I have pictures of me going around. Hang on, can I search if I'm not? No, I can't search. Well, let's do this. See, so see, if for motherfuckers that are out there working, and this ain't even a good picture, but it's gonna get my point across. See, for motherfuckers who actually know how to read, right? See, them ancient Greeks were not built like that. That was their version of making like comic books, right? That was literally like they weren't walking around built like that. These motherfuckers was not walking around like that, right? At best, they was walking around like how Thor really looks. He was fat as fuck. That's how they was. If anything, they weren't walking around with all these. See, and it's this delusion of fucking, like, a lack of self worth so much that now you think that the ancient, like, you trying to get to this like optimal physique, but the optimal physique was never that, from where they trying to bring it from. It was never that. That's in your fucking head and Spider Man. That it was never that. I mean, it looks cool. I'll give you that. It looks cool. You could pick up something heavy. I mean, that's cool, but that was never what. No, no. Yeah, muscles don't. Yeah, men like muscles. Most women I've heard go on about it. I mean, some of them might have like a fantasy just to hook up with one dude like that, but like, no, well, I got a baby and my girlfriend's and I have a baby and my spouse is cooking me dinner right now. And I'm not fucking 6'5" and and all that shit, right? I got the muscles and the dick, but I don't even have the muscles. I just have a good body. But I'm not 6 foot whatever. Blah, 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 blah. No, I have a Ford Focus outside because I live in Prague and we can ride trains and trams everywhere because I live in Europe. And that was the funny part. He's like flexing a Corvette. Like, that's the now. If you really want to get real about it, like, that was the other flex that was like telling on himself too that he really ain't got shit. You know, like, if I could find it, hang on. If I could find it, which I don't even feel like looking for, so I'm ready to get off here in a minute. Can you just look up reels? I don't even know how to do this shit, man. Oh, here it is. So I probably could pop up in the first one. Is this it? I can't look at it because I'm not logged in. But yeah, he's flexing a Corvette. Like a fucking like that's your flex is a Corvette, dude. Like, and see, like now again. See that the flex, let me see if I can find that shit. The flex of a Corvette. Let me see if I can find this shit. Should be here somewhere. The flex of a Corvette is like flexing If you're flexing a Corvette as a grown ass man with a fucking law degree, that's the equivalent of flexing like a Honda Civic to like high school kids. And you're trying to like say the shit like it was like something valuable. I mean, it's the thing. It's only going to impress a certain group of people, right? So we gonna watch because and that's where my girl picked up. Like, yeah, like I don't think that shit's real. Flexing, if you're, I'm lagging a little bit. Fucking law degree. That's the. So we gonna play through this shit again. So right here, right? See, flexing a Corvette is another. See, him flexing a Corvette is only appealing. See, that flex only works to people beneath that. And now the more I'm thinking about it, it makes sense of the people who's like following him and believing what he says about this shit instead of, actually knowing how to read, right? A Corvette is only going to impress people who can't afford a Corvette, right? And with a fucking law degree, you should be doing. I mean, okay, if you're trying to flex, because some dudes don't care about flexing like that. Some dudes don't care about. I get it. Like some dudes don't really care. But again, so a dude who supposedly has a law degree, he's quoting Wikipedia. He's not actually working in law, and he has an Instagram channel where he's like combing through women's Instagrams accounts and focus on the fact that he has a $30 gym membership at Planet Fitness. Again, none of this shit's adding up. None of it's adding up, dude. Like at all. Well, yeah, Ronnie. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. I love. Yo, I tell you what. My stepmom had a Toyota Camry, and I tell you what. To this day, that car was great. It's not the best car I've driven, but she had a regular Toyota Camry. I tell you what, man. I mean, I'm honest about that. That car was like it was weirdly spacious when you thought it shouldn't have been. I still remember that, and I love that Toyota Camry. Oh, I agree. Toyotas are just fine. There's nothing wrong with Toyota Camry, but it in the world of trying to like flex this shit, like because you could tell he's trying to flex because he took the picture like intentionally in front of the Corvette, as if it was like as if it was I like yeah I'm the shit type of thing. Like I mean, it's a Corvette, dude. That shit is a Corvette, bro. It's a Corvette. Like, chill the fuck out. It's a Corvette. Now, if you were in Europe, it'd be a big deal because they pay more for the transport fee over here. So I will see month. So when you over in Europe over here, if you see like a Mustang, like a decked out Mustang or any type of Corvette, to them it's a foreign car, relatively speaking, because they do have like I drive a Ford Focus outside, but like to them like they'll have like a Chrysler 300 and park that motherfucker like at the back end of the parking garage underground, right? Because they don't want nobody to touch it. It's a 300M, dude, a Chrysler. Like in America, those are like almost trash now, right? These the older ones. But over here, like it's a foreign car to them, so they'll do that, right? So like even with this, in this now, if he was in Europe, like, well, first of all, okay, so let's clear that up. If he was dumb enough to import a Corvette to Europe, like that's another level of being dumb, right? For most of the population, not all, but most of them. But it's a Corvette, dude. It's a Corvette. Come on, like it's a Corvette. You know what I mean? Like, and this motherfucker took like the perfect picture. Like he was proud of that shit too. You know what I mean? He was proud. Fire engine red. He was smiling when he signed the papers. Like, I got a fire engine red Corvette. Like, it's a fucking Corvette. Like, it's a Corvette, bro. Like, it's nothing to like. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's a Corvette, dude. Like, it's a Corvette. Come on. Like, let's be real about it. I'm not gonna lie. If I had a six pack, I'd flex it. That's cool, man. I actually follow this guy on Instagram, and then he made a video about you. What a strange coincidence that's yeah, yeah. Again, like I'm not mad he made a video, just the video alone. What always sends me up a wall is when hold on, let's go back. It was when motherfuckers are just flat out fucking stupid, and then they double down on it, right? Again, like if I'm wrong, like I'll be wrong. I'll happily accept it. Like I'm wrong. My life's goal is to find myself being wrong so I can grow, right? That's my life purpose is to help other men and to keep finding out that I'm wrong so I can actually grow as a person instead of just stay myself forever, right? That uncomfortable, that like to get punched in the face. Like I want to get punched in the face. That way I remember how it feels to hurt, right? And I could develop and grow in different ways, right? But yeah, that it's the being it's being dumb as fuck, doubling down on being dumb as fuck, and showing no signs of awareness on reality because you just don't want to accept that you dumb as fuck. That's what sends me up a wall, and that's why I'm live streaming on Saturday because I never live stream on Saturday. Suki, quit bullying. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, women get laid easily, so stuff like that no matter to them. It's about just status and pragmatism with them. Just saying, yeah. Was he? So Rana says, I could be wrong, but there's a Greek philosopher. He wouldn't teach you unless you were in good shape. That makes sense. Yeah, because with the Greek philosophers, yeah, their whole Greek philosophers' whole thing was to have everything, but not to have everything, but have control and to seek out control. The overall theory of any Greek philosopher that I found was to have everything but to still seek control. So like back then they put value in men with like small dicks. Their whole thing was to not look like an animal. So they view like bigger dicks as like being animalistic. So that's why whenever you see like nude men in these like sculptures that clowns like this are trying to work. Oh wait, clowns like this are trying to work out and look like because they think that they're gonna look like that. Like they valued that comes from Greek mythology in them wanting to have everything, but they got off on the control. Pretty much like now with like what they call it, like no fap or whatever it is. Like guys are like intentionally trying to like control themselves, even though they have copious amounts of porn on the internet. Right, that's what Greek mythology. That's what I mean. Greek mythology. A lot of Greek philosophers they were on that shit because a lot of them would be rich, wanting to have everything. So when you look at like whenever you see like male statues back then, like they're always gonna have small dicks. If you can see their dick, it's gonna be small because anything that signified that they were like more animal or they were wild or they couldn't control themselves, that was looked down upon by the majority of the population. So when it comes to like statues, right? When it comes to like so I'm sure everybody's seen statues of 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 like naked women, like topless women. Well, that was always taboo. Like naked women and like all those statues and sculptures you see of like topless women, that was always taboo. There was never a period in time where it was okay to do that. The reason why they would do that, from what I understood, is because they it was pretty much like the rich person saying, well, I have so much money, you can't stop me anyway. So here it is. Bow. Titties on the street, right? A naked woman's body was never. It was always that taboo, like you shouldn't want to look at it type of shit, whatever. It was always that, right? But only the rich people could afford to make statues like that. So it was the rich person's way of saying, "Fuck you, I do whatever I want," right? But again, if you actually know how to read, you would know these. Again, you would know things like this, if you knew how to read and comprehend and do and apply some sense of critical thinking, right? Or even the Code of Federal Regulations. There's nowhere. So again, no. So maybe again, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's say he legitimately emailed the motherfuckers and he found an idiot to write him back, right? For whatever reason, right? Maybe they didn't know about the between here and here. Maybe they didn't know and they just wrote it, gave it to him, and got fired. But as a law dude, he should have known not to even do that, right? It's like robbing a bank. Okay, it would be like a police officer robbing a bank, right? Now, a police officer should know that he shouldn't rob a bank, right? But he could get lucky and walk in this bank where, like, the whole staff is idiots and they just give him all the money and say, oh, yeah, okay, here you go. You're a police officer. Goodbye. He could get lucky and it just happens like that, right? And let's give Goon, YouTube to you, whatever, Goo, whatever the fuck his name is. Let's say he fell in that scenario. But here's the thing. As a police officer, he should have known not to walk up in there and do that in the first place. So what does that say about him and his profession, right? And on top of that, add in that police officer was somewhere he don't actually work as a police officer all the time. He's actually just lifting weights and stalking women somewhere in pictures, right? Put that shit into perspective, like how pathetic this shit is. Like it's fucking sad. But see, again, with social media, motherfuckers just believe anything. Motherfuckers will believe anything because you say it with confidence, and you got something that they don't got, right? For example, me, I live on top of Prague. It's been snowing for the last 3 days here. It looks pretty beautiful. It's dark now, but it looks beautiful outside. So some motherfuckers will listen to me just because of that. So it's my responsibility to stay on top of that and be like, and stay righteous to you, right? Because somebody watching right now, if it weren't for me living in Prague and all this shit like that, you wouldn't even listen to me. And rightfully so, because I got something that, maybe you want to aspire to, maybe you wish you always wanted to be and just maybe never got there for whatever reason. I don't know. But that's part of the game. Now, the other part is for me to realize that and stay on top of it and not intentionally give you any egotistical wrong information, right? To give you legit. Whenever me and my girl have any question about anything, and I know the answer, I always go to my laptop, go to my iPad, go to my phone, and I show her. So that way she knows I'm not just speaking off of opinion. I'm telling her this off of fact. And if I was wrong in the fact, that we find it, we sit there and we look at it together, right? But see, motherfuckers like this don't matter. He'll tell you anything he thinks you want to hear. Because he has a fucking law degree, but doesn't know how to read. There you go. So yeah, I'm gonna go pee real fast because I just drank this beer and I'll be right back. I'll probably stay on another half hour. It's like 7. I'll stay on another half hour. I'm gonna go pee real fast and I'll be right back. I'm just gonna play this trailer, but I'm not gonna cut off the live stream. All right, we back. Yeah, man. I just get so riled up at stupidity, man. I do. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I prefer to be stupid. I prefer it. That's why I keep reading. Is the sound still working? Yeah, see, it's skipping. Yeah, I'm lagging like crazy, man. I don't know what's going on. So now it's just essentially a podcast. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. God, man, I just hate dudes who I just look. Cause I have my own life, man. I already got the military benefits. I have my education. I have my body. I have my mind. I have my books. I have my video games. I actually just started playing Bayonetta 3 again because I love Bayonetta. Hey, baby. I have my baby. Hey, baby. Oh, now he wants to read a book. Okay, well, he be alright. He got one of my books now, the Madeline Albright book. I just hate it. Just gets me riled up when people are just stupid, right? Or just stupid. Or just, what you doing? Because what's even worse is because I literally had this conversation 2 weeks ago with my university and the VA, and this dude is like doubling down on stupidity to the point where he thought to make a whole video about me, right? So to make it clear, it's not him because I don't give a fuck about him. It's stupidity is what drives me up a fucking wall. It's pure. It's genuine. Just ignorant stupidity and then doubling down on it because I don't give a fuck about this dude's life. I don't care, right? Stupidity is what doubling down on it because I've definitely been wrong a lot, and I hope to be wrong more times in my life. I really do. I hope to be wrong. That way I can keep growing. I want to get punched right in the fucking face. Because that's the only way you're going to grow. Right? I accept it. I love it. That's why I don't love it at the time because it's not comfortable. But you laughing at me, baby. But it's just stupid. It's doubling down on, and then on top of that, doubling down and talking shit like as if you know what the fuck you talking about. That's the part that just like I can handle anything else. I can handle how women treat men, how like the hookers, how gangster hookers, prostitutes, or women just in general can be. I can handle that and go off. And I have a son, and I have a girl. I have a spouse. We're not married, but I just say we're married whenever I meet people. Like I can handle that, but it's just when somebody just doubles down on stupidity, like they double down on it. Like it's not like, oh shit, like word is that, blah blah blah. Then I'm like, I don't care. But if they double, and then on top of that, get the talking, try to talk slick, like, oh, here's another one, and like, yeah, dude, like this speaks for itself right here. That just drives me up a fucking wall. It really does. And I'm probably, you know what? Stupidity is, I don't get the what's his name? What's his dude's name? Goob you two? Like, I'm not gonna remember that dude's face tonight. By tonight when I go to bed. It's 7:09 here. I'm gonna forget what the dude's name is and what his face even looks like. What riles me up is just knowing that people like him are walking around and are allowed to speak out loud. Right? Like that's the part that I just can't. I just can't. Baby, he ripped my book. He ripped the back page, so it's fine. Baby. He didn't rip a real page. Nah, he's fine. Waking up on a Sunday morning and AD is on Saturday, Sunday, Saturday. So, okay. Platypus dreams. Yeah, man. A random occurrence came up, and I just really had to go into. I really had to go into something. But yeah, thought you was tripping. Stupid people hate being called stupid because it makes them feel stupid. Yeah. Currently play streaming Star Wars: The Fallen Order. Enjoying it so far. I never got into Star Wars. My dad loves Star Wars. Let me open this window. My dad always loved Star Wars, but I never understood it. The friend of mine I was talking about earlier, Brandon, he always loved Star Wars. He gets all those games too, man. I just don't, I'm missing something. I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I want to like it. I like the music. Of course, you got to like the lightsabers on some extent, but I don't get the politics in it. I mean, I understand um, like it's the light and dark side, like the light side or whatever the fuck. What's I can't think of the force or whatever the fuck. Like, I understood it for a little while. Like, one side was more about like it's pretty much like Republicans versus Democrats or what they call it. What they call it in the UK, the Perrys. I forget what they called. Dairies, Perrys, Larrys, something like that. But it's the same fight. The conservatives versus the liberals. And like the Luke Skywalker side was like, from what I remember, and I could be horribly wrong, but what I remember, Luke Skywalker side, like they weren't about materialism and shit like that. They were just like trying to keep peace and shit. And then like fucking Darth Vader side was like, yo, we gotta take some shit over type shit. Like, but I never understood Star Wars, man. I just never understood how it could last so long. We're gonna roast if he responds to this video. Zuki. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, to be real with you, like, I really don't care about the dude's life. Like, I think the girls, the porn stars, they made videos and shit. Like, to be honest with you, man, like, I really don't care about. Like, if here's the thing, if he were to come back and say any like talk about, hey, well, you got a bald head or whatever the fuck, like, haha, like whatever, blah blah. If he were to say anything like that, I honestly just wouldn't care, right? Like, I probably wouldn't care. And I try to just click it, watch it, just the core of what has me riled up is just knowing that people like him are allowed to make social media channels. Is the fight against ignorance. That's where my anger is coming from. Because I wouldn't even recognize this dude I walk down the street. I can tell you that much right now. It wouldn't like click or any kind of way. I go, oh, excuse me. I just I just hate when motherfuckers double down. Now, if you have just a different perspective, a different ideology, whatever, like if it was just a different opinion, then I'm okay, yeah, like whatever. Like I think you're dumb, but cool. Like for example, I think FromSoft games are horrible. I think they're outdated. I think they don't move well. I don't like the fact when I hit punch, the motherfucker swings. It takes him fucking 3 seconds to wind up and hit some shit. I think FromSoft games are horrible, but that's my opinion, right? So like, if you don't think that, like, I'm happy that you love FromSoft, because as long as you love FromSoft, then that means that there's that FromSoft is still alive and it can evolve into something. Whereas like, if I don't like FromSoft and if you don't like FromSoft goes out of business and there's no more growth in that area, right? So I prefer you like FromSoft. I prefer somebody else likes it, right? You got a little orange. What you doing, baby? Baby just came back in. So I prefer that you like whatever I don't like, because that gives door to more possibilities. But if a motherfucker comes up and be like, I mean, well, 2 + 2 = 17, right? I'm like, no, it don't. 2 + 2 = 4. But oh well, that's another one. Well, dude, I have a fucking law degree, and 2 + 2 = 17 because I took math at Cambridge University. Like, see, that's what just grinds the fucking gears. Like on Family Guy, what grinds my gears? That's what fucking sets me up a fucking wall every time. I just cannot handle. I can't handle stupidity. I just can't handle it. I can't handle it. I can handle like white lies or whatever the fuck, as long as a person just owns it, accepts it, whatever. Like I said, I don't have a problem with prostitutes. I don't have a problem with women who dress up to get fucked by men for money and openly admit to it. Like, yeah, I suck dick for money and I use men all the time. Well, at that point, yeah, I'm not mad. Now I'll roast them for like, the obvious, like it's only going to last so long. But as far as like a human, no, I wouldn't continuously make a video about this one woman about it, right? Because it's her life. As long as she owns it and accepts it, look, on a personal level, we can hang out. I'll buy you a beer. But trying to sit up like, well, I'm a princess and no man, a man better come with some money before he. Blah, 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 blah. See, that's when I'm not like that. Shit doesn't sit well with me either. Because she's trying to act, she's trying to fake and act like she's not a fucking hooker. I mean, when she really is. And that's when I get like riled up. Only the first trilogy is worth watching, aka episodes 4, 5, and 6. Word up. Tories, that's what it is, Martin. Yeah, Tory. You must be in the UK, man. How the fuck did you know that? The Tories. Yeah. But yeah, like, I tried to get into Star Wars. My dad bought me. He's still in the books. Okay. I tried to watch Star Wars years ago, man. My dad was into it. He bought me the Millennium Falcon. He bought it for himself for real. I'd still be forgetting to bring that up to him. When he bought that Millennium Falcon, he bought that for him. He didn't buy that for me. I had the Millennium Falcon as a kid. I tried to watch all of them. I think I was probably too young when he started me on them. I think that was probably a big issue. I was too young when he started me on it. But even then, when I tried to watch it as older, I just don't get it, man. I wish I did, because there's a reason why it's Star Wars, right? So I wish I did get it, but I just don't get it, man. It's just me. I'm the fucked up one. You know what I mean? Like, it's me. Yeah. I always liked Han Solo. I always thought Han Solo was cool because he just kind of had his own swagger. Like, he was just on his own program. So if anybody, I always liked Han Solo. Chewbacca was alright. You had to like Luke on some level just because the motherfucker. I mean, he's Luke Skywalker. He's the fucking leader of the whole. You know what I mean? He's Peter Parker. Like, you gotta like him, right? On some level. But like, I liked Han Solo more for the reason why I like Constantine, right? The reason why I love Constantine is because the character John Constantine, when in the Hellblazer comic books, he very rarely used his magic. He figured out shit from just piecing shit together and making it work. Like Captain Kirk, William Shatner as Captain Kirk. Captain Kirk was not the best fucking leader for the job, right? But he would just piece shit together on some type of manipulation or just realizing the social interactions. He would piece it together to make it work and get out. But he was not the best choice, like on paper type shit. And I always loved characters like that because I always felt like I was in that position. Like, I know I'm not the best, but I'll sit down and make shit work, kind of thing. Because I love Captain Kirk so much. I watched some of the Next Generation and all that. I just never cared for him because I just like Captain Kirk he was like me, man. Like, he was a dude who really probably should have never got the job. and fucked around, you know what I mean? And let his swagger do all the work, kind of thing, and it worked. Like Han Solo, I don't think Han Solo ever even use. I don't think he ever even used the Force, man. That motherfucker was just like, yo, we get ready to get out of here. You know what I mean? And that was it. Like, you knew when Han said that shit, well, they getting ready to get out. I don't know how they gonna do it, but he said it, so we getting ready to make it out this motherfucker, right? Because you had no reason to believe Han Solo would live. You know what I mean? Like, this movie wasn't called Star Wars Han Solo. You know what I mean? This movie was Luke Skywalker. So you knew Luke Skywalker was going to make it out. Because that motherfucker got a crazy, obtuse name. This motherfucker's last name is Skywalker. All right? Like, if you name a motherfucker Skywalker, that motherfucker is going to make it out. All right? Now, Han Solo, that's some Robin shit. That motherfucker might die. All right, we don't know. Right? This motherfucker, he ain't got no powers, nothing. This motherfucker walk around with a pistol and a fucking shit. This motherfucker has nothing. but a fucking leather jacket and a pistol. That's all, and some swagger. You don't get out of this motherfucker. Well, I guess that's what it is, huh? But you know what? For real, Han Solo. I mean Han Solo. What's his? I can't think of his real name now. That dude is hilarious. Like I want to meet him, right? Not because he was Han Solo, because I don't like Star Wars. I want to meet this motherfucker because I watched a Conan O'Brien interview, and that motherfucker, his sense of humor, I love it. But he has a type of sense of humor. The dude who I can't think of his real name, but the dude who played Han Solo, his sense of humor is in a way where he cannot read it off a script. He has to just do it, right? Because he was an anchorman too, and he had some funny lines in his little segment, but it wasn't funny, right? Like you got to catch him when he's just like existing, right? He just chilling. That motherfucker, it's Conan O'Brien interviews. He just has this comedic timing that's just, it's perfect. I think he's hilarious. I want to meet that motherfucker just to hang out with him. I don't care about Star Wars. I don't care about Blade Runner, none of that shit. I think that motherfucker is hilarious. Harrison Ford, that's his name, yeah. Harrison Ford. I love, man, that dude has a great sense. In them Conan O'Brien interviews, I watched all of them, and I never do that shit. I watched all them motherfuckers because he has like this way he does his voice, and he gets, and he has this like this comedic sense that's just, it really is just perfect, man. I'd love to meet him just to sit with him. I don't like Star Wars. I don't care about Star Wars, none of that shit. It wouldn't mean anything to me. It'd mean nothing to me. Speaking of games, I know I'm getting PS5 or Christmas. I really want to play Spider-Man 2. Word up, man. Yeah, I met a dude at a punk rock concert about a week ago, and he was saying what most people said. Like he said it was a really good game. He said like, but like the reviewer said like the first game kind of like it's a good game. It's not a bad game. The one part in I remember in the first gameplay trailer that came out for it. Remember when they was like in Queens or some shit like that, and they was at that house, and he turned into Venom, and he bust out that cellar, and he goes, "Craven's gonna wish he never came to New York," and his voice like completely switches into that Venom shit. That part got me. I was like, they did it right, bro. They got his voice right for Peter Parker as Venom, where he goes, "They should have never. Craven's gonna. Let's watch it. Let's watch it real fast." Where he goes, "This clown off my fucking computer." Anyway, where he goes, "They should have never made it to New York, or he's gonna regret he ever came to New York," or something like that. Let's do this. Like the part where his voice like changes. Let's do first gameplay where they weren't in the city. Yeah, it's got to be this. Oh no, they probably gonna copyright this shit. Let me back out. Oh, ooh, this is gonna be hard to do. Well, I should be all right because this is like a big game. But when he flipped his voice, and I'm gonna try to play like a small part of it, just to try to dodge that whole. Oh, it's just a podcast now, man. I'm sorry. I see the playback. Let me back out. It's turned into a podcast, but it was this scene. I don't want because I feel like I hate when my shit turns into a fucking slideshow, man.
Craven wants a hunt. I'll give him what he'll never forget. He's gonna wish he never came to New York.
Yeah, like they got that shit, bro. It's probably a slideshow on YouTube now because I forgot to keep track of my fucking iPad to monitor it. But yeah, like they got that voice right, man. That voice was like right. When I heard that, I was like, no, yeah, they got that shit right. They got it all the way right. I don't care about Craven like the Craven never really got. Craven should really be a bigger super villain for real, but for some reason, like the character just never catches on. Like motherfuckers just don't like the motherfucker for some reason. But Craven really should have been like bigger because he was because didn't he like he buried Spider-Man in older comic books. He beat Spider-Man's ass. But that part where he should have never come to New York and his voice like flips at the end, and that was like, yeah, they got that shit. They got it all the way. Peter Parker is a really good voice actor. Oh yeah, yeah. He also voiced Sasuke. I don't know Naruto, man. I wish I did, but I don't know Naruto like that. Well, yeah, he is a great voice actor, man. Like they did a great job with. I remember I was living in a small village slash town called Chescalipa when Spider Man came out, and I remember, dude, I'm a Spider Man fan, so I waited on that game. I remember when I first seen the first gameplay of the first Spider Man, I was thinking there is no way it's gonna look that good, right? With this motherfucker swinging through Times Square. I still remember that, thinking to myself, because if a Spider Man game's coming out, I'm gonna know about it. I'm gonna know about it. And I remember when that first gameplay came out, I remember thinking to myself, there is no way a PlayStation 4 game is going to look that good. It just can't happen. Right? And I remember playing it. And, hey, baby. You want my books? Okay. You're going to rip that up. But yeah, Spider-Man was yeah. I'm going because I remember Spider-Man was so great. I remember Red Dead Redemption came out maybe like a few months later after that, or maybe like that winter. I can't remember exactly when, but I remember it came out like in progression. So I remember at that time I was playing because God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2 all came out like relatively close in some aspect. Because I was living in Chescalipa when they all came out, and I still don't care for God of War like that because I don't. It's not a bad game. I just didn't like the story. I just didn't care for it. But I remember Spider-Man was so great. I thought that Red Dead Redemption 2, there was no way Red Dead Redemption 2 could keep up with Spider-Man because he's swinging, right? In Red Dead Redemption, you a cowboy and fucking, the fucking, I don't know, 1800s, some shit like that. Like there's no way they could keep up. And Red Dead Redemption was a slow burn, but I finally ended up loving that game. Rana, you say I didn't like the fact they changed the face model. Yeah, they was trying to fix. Yeah, I don't like that. They should have kept the same face model. Hey, baby. Yeah, little baby. He's walking on my books on the floor. But yeah, they really should have kept the same voice actor. They should have. I mean, I'm not voice actor, the same face model. Have you watched Blue Eye Samurai? No, haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. Williams Giverta, you said, okay, I didn't read your whole comment. So you said, plus, if this guy was really red pill, he will understand that muscles don't really matter like that to women. I'm built like him, but a chubby dude with more money can easily get smashed by women. Yeah. Thank you, baby. His little train. Thank you, baby. Good job. Good job, baby. But yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, back to this clown. Yeah. Like, yeah. And they roast me on their comment section. I'm getting roasted hard. by a bunch of other motherfuckers that don't know how to read. Because again, to move it, let's move this. So see what Goon U2 doesn't understand is define without consent. Right? Because that's a big game changer. If you have to define without consent, that's a big game changer. Because without consent, well, who can do it without consent? Can Barney the dinosaur do it without consent? Can Roy the janitor do it without consent? That's a big change. And, you know, that's a big deciding factor without consent, right? And it takes critical thinking to dive that far. You have to have an attention span more than that to actually dive into who without consent applies to, right? And Goon, you too. I doubt that you meet any of these. I doubt you meet any of these. Highly doubt it. If you're using Wikipedia as a source, I doubt you meet any of these permitted disclosures. I highly doubt it. What you doing, baby? He's trying to climb this stair with a pot. He likes these pots. Buying a bunch of toys, don't care. What's his favorite toy? A fly swatter and some pots. That's what he likes. But he just strong with a baby. And mommy's cooking dinner. Hey, with your baby. What you doing? Oh, that's gonna make a lot of noise when it falls. You pooping? Yeah, I don't know. He's up to something. He building something now. He got an idea. He ready to do something. Oh, pot to the knee, baby. Oh, pot to the knee. Oh, pot to the knee. Oh, pot to the knee, baby. Pamalu. Yo. Baby Kratos having fun. Yeah, he's got some pots, man. Here he is right here. He got some pots in his hand. I don't know if you can see them, but I got I'm wearing my long johns, Anchorman style. All in them books. All right, well, that's cool. Rather you be in the books than other stuff on Earth. Someone get this man on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Yo, thanks ABC, I appreciate it. Because those guys, I'm sure they still doing. They had a really, you know what I admire about the Fresh and Fit podcast is one, they have the patience to deal with women, and two, you can tell they put a lot into their production. Like, I admire those guys. I think they're doing a great job, man. I think the only thing I just wish they saving their money or putting it into something. I just hope they just don't go because the ride's going to be over for everybody at some point. I just hope that they're just putting the money somewhere. That's the only thing I hope for them is that they prepared because something's gonna happen. It's life. That's the only thing I wish for them. But I think I admire those. I think they're doing a great fucking job. He's alright. Baby. It's calling him. Baby, go to mommy. Go to mommy. Go to mommy. Go to mommy. Yeah. They got demonetized. I hope demonized or demonetized. I hope they didn't get demonetized because that would fucking suck. Because they had a great thing going. They were getting tons of views, tons of donations. They had a great thing going. If they got demonetized, I heard that sucks for them, man. Because they had all of it. They had the monetization going. They had the donations going. I'm sure they had a bunch of behind the scenes. I'm sure they had a behind the scenes shit going, dude. So like, I hope they didn't. I heard Myron puts a lot of attention to detail to production. I also heard they got their channel terminated on YouTube and either on Rumble or Kick. What? They got they got demonetized and they got shut down. Like they was like, yo, they was a shit to me. They was kicking ass. Them motherfuckers was doing it, man. Like I got nothing bad to say about, well, most people. I know, as far as like people, I don't have anything to say bad to say about people, but like they were doing well, man. I admire them. I really do, because they I don't have the patience to do all that. Like, I just don't have the patience to put. I was video editing for a while, and that shit lasted about a year. I just don't. I just have other shit I want to do, and I never liked video editing. I had a YouTube channel years ago where I video edited, and it was far more successful than this channel. Like, one video had what maybe two videos had what this whole channel has combined in views. But I was like, I would edit. Me and a friend of mine was playing games online, and I would just like edit it and make jokes out of it. And oh, it was like, so what happened was, the friend of mine, he started getting random messages on his PlayStation, because they would see like our characters' names, and they would and he was getting like, he kept getting messages on his PlayStation account. It was like, hey, I seen you on YouTube, blah, 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 blah. Like, but you know that got shut down because I started making fun of Trump at a time where you shouldn't make fun of presidents. So he immediately shut that shit. I ain't get a warning, nothing. I just tried to log in, that shit was gone. Like, I didn't get a warning or no type of warning. I just tried to log in, it'd say unable to something, and I still can't get into it. But that was in a different time period. That's when you really couldn't make fun of presidents like that, and because I wore this Elmer Fudd hat, right? And I was either going through drive-throughs, or I was like just doing skits where like everything I wanted was like American. So like, I'd be like, I want American cheese. I want American cheese. And his name, I was Uncle Ruckus. I named you Uncle Ruckus. And I was like I want American. Right? Like, I would make up stories like, I went to McDonald's and they asked me if I wanted jalapeno peppers. I said, what the hell is a jalapeno? I want American peppers. Like, I went through these whole skits like that. And they shut that shit down fast. Like, that shit didn't that shit didn't last a week. But I made a lot of them because I was bored. I had nothing to do. All this Swiss. What the fuck is a Swiss cheese? That don't say democracy to me. I want American cheese on my burger. And I named him Uncle Rugged. My brother loved it. I showed my brother. He loved it. But I had this, it was this Elmer Fudd hat, and I would just like walk around. Like, they shut that shit down fast. Like, that shit, it was longer than a week, but that shit didn't last long. It really didn't last long at all. It didn't last long, man. It didn't last long at all. They shut me down real fast after that. Just like they shut down my Patreon when when I start posting Ukraine bitches twerking for Ukraine on X videos in them cam sites. Yeah, Patreon said click. They shut my ass down real quick. I'm still salty about that. Nah, I'm not salty anymore. I used to be salty about it, but I was salty about it when it happened. They shut that shit down with the quickness. They didn't give a fuck. They just click. I seen a deposit in my account. I was like, what's this deposit? Why did they deposit money in my account? I got the email. I said, oh yeah, we shut you down for hate speech. Yo, hate speech? For out of everything I did, now you shut me down for hate speech? I ain't hated nobody. Everything just like with Goon You Too, everything I stated is within reason. There is no hate speech, none of that. All right, there was no hate speech. Everything I stated, including this, was based off of analyzing. It wasn't saying, well, these bitches' nose look big and they ugly as fuck. I mean, it was nothing like that. I wouldn't make it fun of the size of they cheeks and ears and nothing like that. Now, I would say that's some hatred shit. You know what I mean? Just to be stalking bitches just to look at their arms being misshaped like Goon You Too would do as a grown ass man. Now, I think that deserves to be shut down because that's some creepy shit. But to actively go out and Instagram on your own and go do that. Now, if somebody has sent you the referral to do it, then it makes sense. Like, it was sent to me by so and so. I could see that. But as a grown ass man, right, in your own life, in your own time, after you have a fucking law degree, to go out on Instagram and comb through copious amounts of Instagram accounts just to find like one bitch with her arm shit photoshopped a little bit, and that's what you do with a fucking law degree. That's sad, bro. You got to get you got to start doing, you got to start making some moves, bro, cuz a gym ain't shit. Okay, here's the thing. Let's be real about it. What the fuck is a gym? Let's be real. What the fuck is a gym? A gym is a $30 a month membership and some muscle milk. That's what a gym is, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's admiration in sticking with anything, but that really ain't. Look, as a grown man, you can do a lot more shit than that, right? You can do a lot more shit than that. That's pretty bottom of that. And that's cool in high school, right? A Corvette and going to the gym, that's cool to like a 12th grader, right? But as a 30, 40-year old man, that shit ain't cool. It's nothing. It's nothing. I mean, it's not bad, but trying to flex that shit like that's what you do and all that. Yeah, bro. Like you just not making that cut. Goon you too, goob you too, whatever the fuck it is. That's just not, you just not making that cut with the with more big boys in the world, if that's your claim to fame. Now I hope you, and with that being said, I hope you have something else lined up. I hope you really doing something in life. I don't wish you to be poor or anything. I don't hope that you feel bad about anything I said, none of that, right? But mm, yeah. Usher, what's your main source of income? My main source of income is military benefits and going to school and or disability and or a few side hustles I won't get into here for various reasons. But and just working independently as my own, like technically I have to be a life coach in Europe. So this is where it kind of dives into more complicated areas. So in the US, so mental health in North America took off far more than it took off anywhere else on the planet, right? Most other places on the planet. So in order to be, so technically I could not be licensed in North America because I've been gone the whole time. So what happened was, what I'm working in Europe, I technically cannot sell myself as a legitimate clinical mental health counselor here because they don't even have the degree here. They just don't even have it here in this country, right? Where North America, it's a thing. So this is another area where me and my VA counselor and my school were having issues, coming to an agreement on what I should do. Because at this point, since I do have other sources of income, I can essentially live anywhere I want. I'm not tied to like having to find a job there first and then go there type of thing. Now, in the sense of me being like, in the sense of me just in me personally feeling comfortable, like I wouldn't do that right now, but like I could go do that. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable cutting it too close to the red, right? On my worst day, right? It's just me. I just want to be prepared. So like I just choose not to do it now because I don't want to. I just don't feel comfortable like that right now. So so in the US, when it comes to licensure for this field, well, some states are accepted while some states don't accept the other states. So you have to depend on it depends on where you want to go in the US for this field. Now I'm not sure if the bar exam, I'm pretty sure most of these areas you have to do it in these relative regional areas, right? Like I'm not gonna say that's how it is. I'm not gonna don't quote me on that, but if I had to guess, I would say it has to be somewhat similar. So for example, this is how I caught one woman I was working with in a flat out lie. She was working in Georgia, right? And when I was in school, I took a psychopharmacology course, right? And see again, there's a lot of people on earth that should not be allowed to speak out loud, right? So I caught this woman in a lie who I was working with in Atlanta, Georgia, over the internet. I asked her if she had ever recommended medication or prescribed medication, and she goes yes. Right now, I know that's a lie. Like goon you too. Like see, she's a goon you too. She thought I would just believe it and accept it. And for those who aren't educated or aware in the field, they would just believe it. Now, I know for a fact because actually I have it somewhere the documentation on which states can do what. Now, in the United States, at least at the time when I did it, I'll give her that benefit of the doubt. Only the state of California could a clinical mental health counselor recommend medication, and they had to take a psychopharmacology course. I took that course, right? I took this. It was a doctorate's level course. I don't have a doctorate. I have a master's, but my doctorate, it was a doctorate level course, and you just get this little bullshit certificate just saying, yeah, I can recommend, medicine. I could just write a letter, and they teach you how to write the letter, like how to format it, and just, hey, I recommend my client, such and such, pills because they're fucked up, right? But in the United States and in all their properties, of United States, only the state of California can a clinical mental health counselor do that. No other state can one do that. I know because guess what? The VA had to go through and validate this shit because I said I wanted to live in California, right? So they had to validate to make sure it's correct. See, this is why you stay away from guys like Goon, U2, or whatever the fuck, and the bitch I work with in Atlanta, Georgia, because they don't know. And they'll tell you anything just so in hopes that they hold on to your belief. Right? They'll tell it to you. They'll say anything. The bitch was lying, just like Goon U2 he's not lying. I just think he's just not very intelligent. I don't think he's lying. He's just not, too sharp. I gotta pee again. I'll be right back. Trailer time. It's almost 8. I'm going way over time. Oof. My baby done came in here and made a mess. I'm hitting shit. Yeah. Do you have that Anna Akana Rose video? I'm sure I do. If it's been taken down, it's somewhere. That's sad too, man. Oh, J Roll, I sorry I missed this question, J Roll. This is AD. What's your advice for a short dude on getting bitches in America? That's hard, man. And to be honest with you, I've been gone out the U.S. so long, I may not be the best guy to ask that question. But in the end, I still think it's just okay. I was just getting ready to oversimplify it by just saying it's a numbers game. I think that's just going to oversimplify it. But here's the thing, man. Here's the part that nobody wants to acknowledge too is that a lot of it is just luck. A lot of it is just pure luck, or if you have a certain swagger or whatever. But the advice I have for dudes who are short, because I'm five. Well, last time I checked, I was 5'7". Now I have scoliosis, and I'm probably down about 5'6". Oh. But what gets me in the rooms and gets me like going is the fact that I can just like I can talk to anybody. I can talk to anybody. Like I don't care if you're like a racist dude, whatever the fuck. Like I can talk. Like I can. It doesn't bother me, right? So I would, and I don't want to sound like I'm oversimplifying because I feel like so many guys will either oversimplify it or tell you that it's impossible, and I don't want to fall into either one of those. I'll say everybody's going to have a hard time with it. Everybody's going to have a hard time with women. Now, when in the context, women can always find somebody for 5 minutes, but they can't. Women can't keep anything for longer than 15 minutes. Like she's not in any control of that. which kind of gives this signal to the world that women are in total control kind of thing when they're really not. Um, what I would tell you as a short dude and picking up bitches is go out and just start talking to people. Don't pay. I mean, you're gonna look at women. You're gonna. We all are, man. Everybody in here. We're all gonna look at bitches. But the thing is, just learn how to talk to people and just learn how to talk and be happy with people. The women will come. The women will come later. It just learn how to talk to people, regardless if they're beautiful, ugly, whatever. Just that's what I used to do especially I remember when I was working at the VA. I used to do that. I would just have I was going through a rough patch at the VA with dating. Um, but yeah, just learn how to talk to anybody and just be, and try to find ways to genuinely make people, like, if you can make people like genuinely laugh or genuinely think or laugh. Now, it may not always initially end how you want it to, but that sticks with people, right? Even if you approach, okay, what I've learned is this: in the world, right? The only way you're going to stand out is if people really love you or really hate you. Very rarely do you stand out if you're just like, you're just that average, he's an alright guy, right? You got to get them emotions out of people. And the emotions are usually going to be is they going to love you, if they going to hate you. Now, in high school, being average works more. Well, when I was in high school, I don't know about now, but when I was in high school, being average works a lot because you just want to be like everybody else. But when you hit adulthood, it flips for men. Women can still get by just because they're just a woman. Everybody on earth just wants a woman. So women can still get away with that. But as a man, you have to stand out either way. And one example that I used, I think last week or this past week, was in that was it the Thor movie, God and Thunder, Love and Thunder, or whatever? In the beginning, where Christian Bale, his daughter dies in the desert, and he goes to worship the god, and the god's just like roasting him the whole time. Like, look, dude, like, there's nothing left for you after death except death. And these motherfuckers roasting it. He just like, but my lord. Da, da, da. See, Christian Bale's character was trying to get nice guy pussy, right? In the world as a man, it's the same thing like them ancient Greeks with their gods, right? If you look at ancient Greek gods, like the gods never cared about humans. No matter how much a human groveled at their feet, them Greek gods would fucking rip your asshole apart just because they had to sneeze. They didn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, if you look back into all that shit, the only time the Greek gods would actually respect a human in any kind of way is if a human just flat out beat their ass and took whatever they had, or went off and became their own god some kind of way, or in any kind of way. That's the only time the gods looked down and went like, maybe I should fuck with him. Like, well, look at God of War and Ares. Perfect example. Kratos became the head of that army, and he became some shit, and he became a god to his men. Ares didn't see. Look back at the first God of War. See, Ares didn't give a fuck about Kratos' henchmen that's going, oh, we're good soldiers, right? Look at the first God of War, the first God of War game, where Kratos was the head of the army, right? Of the Spartan army. It's not like accurate lore, but it's lore, right? But look at it, right? Kratos was the head of the fucking army, right? Did Ares give a fuck about any of Kratos' soldiers? And do you think all them soldiers? You think there wasn't any of those soldiers in Kratos' army that was like, yeah, I want to be the best soldier I can be, as I follow Lord Kratos? Ares didn't give a fuck about none of them. Ares let them motherfuckers sink right on down to Hades. And who did Ares come for? He came for Kratos, right? Because Kratos became his own man. That's why. Just like bitches and gods are the same. Gods and bitches, they're the same. They don't give a fuck about you unless you beat their ass and take it, or you become your own god. Now you become something to pay attention to. But as long as you're trying to play this whole I'm going to follow some other shit, they always going to look at you like, You remember that fucking faggot in in Avengers? What's the Infinity War? Remember that fucking faggot Thor's faggot. Remember the dude who Iron Man, when Iron Man and Spider-Man snuck on that ship and they kicked that motherfucker. It was this, hold on, let me see if I can find this motherfucker. It was this fucking faggot and he was a fucking faggot. Let me see. Avengers Infinity War. Let's do ship. When they was on this ship and they had to beat that dude. It might be in here. Hope I don't get copyrighted because I really want to get this point across. Him. Can y'all see him? Yeah, you can see him in there. Can you see? Hold on, let me catch the playback to make sure you can see who I'm talking about. This dude was a fucking faggot, right? He's never gonna be respected amongst the bigger motherfuckers, right? I'm waiting on the playback to make sure you can see what I'm talking about because it looks good on my end, but I'm checking it on the playback to make sure you guys can see it because it looks dark. But this dude was a fucking faggot. Like, he's never going to get the respect. This dude, yeah, you can see it. This dude is never going to get the respect that he secretly thinks that he's going to get one day. That dude is never going to get it. A dude like him is a dude who's sitting around and he is Smithers to Mr. Burns. For those older, y'all remember Smithers from Mr. Burns? Like Smithers weirdly thought that one day he would take over the company when really he just wanted to suck Mr. Burns' dick because Mr. Burns was the big dog type of shit. Because Smithers was gay. Smithers liked Mr. Burns, right? Right? This dude is Smithers, right? Now Christian Bale's character he started off as Smithers, but he fucked around and turned into he fucked around and gulped that red pill down real quick. In this movie, he started out as Smithers and fucked around. See, this is when he go into the ocean, when he goes to the lands of the gods, and that's the god. And he's on this whole like, oh well, you gotta love me because I fucking worship you, and if you and I believe if I worship you, then you'll give me everything I want, right? And he slowly started to see like, yeah, like that guy don't give a fuck about you, bro. He never did and never will. As long as you in that position mentally, he's never gonna care about you. As long as you're in that position mentally, logistically, and physically, he's never gonna care about you. Them gods, just like bitches. It would have been the same way if it had been fucking Dua Lipa sitting over there. It would have been the same shit. It would have been the same dynamic. Had it been Dua Lipa. I don't know bitches out right now. Dua Lipa was the bitch you played Wednesday. Motherfuckers real into her for some reason. Had it been a bitch, it would have been the same scenario. There would have been nothing would have changed. Right? He on this whole like, well, I believe if I just tell you what you want to hear, you'll enlighten me up with the gods, and I'll sit at the table with the gods, and we'll all be friends one day, right? And he just sitting there laughing at his dumb ass, like, you dumb fucking bitch, go fucking die and get the fuck out of my face. Dua Lipa will say the same thing to you. That cute bitch at Starbucks will do the same thing to you. Right? There's no difference between gods and bitches. They both act the same. Both of them are cowards. Gods and bitches, they the same. Both of them are just cowards existing in their entitlement for what they was born as. That's all it is, dude. Like Kratos said. Big Kratos, not my baby Kratos. See now he done fucked around and took the red pill right here. He's starting to get it. Like, hold on. What? Hold on. What? You mean if I suck your dick, you not gonna give me everything I want? And he fuck her. Here comes. This isn't the red pill rage. Okay, now I'm gonna step on some toes. This is the MGTOW phase. I'm stepping on some toes right now. This is the MGTOW phase in it, right? The MGTOW phase is how can they be so heartless? I'm just gonna go my own way and just not pay him attention anymore, right? That's the MGTOW phase. Now he fucks around and takes it and accepts it. See, okay, correction. Here's the start to red pill rage is right here. Because he rips off the fucking medallion and he's mad. and all that shit. And just like bitches in the world. See, this scene right here is nothing more than how bitches do when in divorce court and shit like that. This is the symbolism of divorce court, right? Because the gods and bitches, they're the same. See, the only reason that God's doing all this shit, see, the God is a coward, right? Because the God knows if he were to take away his powers and become just a regular man, he couldn't do that, right? So he has to stay in his fucking pathetic fucking position as being a god because he's too scared to break himself down to a level where he can possibly fail. Like a bitch, right? She'd rather just take attention. She prefers that path of comfort, right? She's not going to come down off of it, right? So right here is essentially in the real world, this is like divorce, right? Like he's got red pill rage, but he still don't really know how to fight it, right? And now he's being what a woman will do. She hold him up, but I love you. Oh my god, but I love you. Don't you remember when I bought you those fruit snacks? And he fuck around and wake, but now, contrary to what usually happens, is he fucks around and wakes up while he's being choked out, and he fucked around and turned red pill and got this sword and fucking killed that bitch and says like, yeah, like that shit didn't feel like a curse, motherfucker. That shit felt right, and he should have killed his dumb ass. But like now in the world, you don't have to kill a bitch like that. Yeah, and he fuck around and hold that. So, see, this is when he finally graduated to red pill shit. Like, look, take me or leave me. Get the fuck out of here, right? And the mother gods got that message real quick. And that's why his name was God. Was it God the Butcher or Gore the Butcher? Gore the God Butcher or some shit like that. The mother gods got that message real quick. See, now the mother gods paid him attention. Uh-oh. We got to work with this motherfucker or he can't come for us. Gods and women are the same way, man. It's no difference. This scene is a perfect example. So watch the scene if you get a chance. Unlike Goon for You Too, whatever his name is, unlike him, I'm actually educating you on the reality of shit. I'm not just hating bitches. I'm telling you the reality of how this shit plays out, right? He fucked around and hell. You know what I mean? He fucked around and took something for himself, or to them other gods became his own god. And see, now them other gods gonna listen to him. They gonna fuck with him and all that, right? They gonna fuck you because he's done something. Now with him, you mean to tell me them? Why didn't those other gods? So really think about this. Why didn't those other gods go back to Gore's hometown and be like, oh yeah, man, like we noticed y'all being real nice, so we gonna give you food and water and shit like that. They ain't give a fuck. Fuck them motherfuckers, right? That's how them guys treat them. Until Gore went up there and did that. Gore went up there and did that. Now motherfuckers, oh yeah, who's that motherfucker? I heard his name's Gore. This motherfucker. Well, does he like Gore? I don't know. What did he do? How tall is he? I heard he's 6'9". Well, does he have a lot of muscles? Oh, his muscles are as big as mountains, and he has no sense of empathy. So he'll just the stories went off the charts because he became his own man. It's simplistic. It's a symbol. I'm too drunk to say the proper word. But that's it, man. Watch that scene. Watch this scene and replace it with a bitch up there and a dude trying to get pussy. Right? Now, I don't say, like, you should kill a bitch, like stab a bitch in the throat, no shit like that. But watch at the general, the way it moves, right? Like the balance of power and, you know, and all that shit. Like, watch how and how Christian Bale awakens from his fucking position of, like, pathetic simp to, like, you know, I got my own shit type of thing. See, that whole look in his eye right here has changed. It's all over. That whole look done changed. He ain't on that whole. Hey, baby. Yeah. Hey, baby. Hey, Papa. He's waving at the screen. Papa, baby. Shake me, Papa. You my little baby. Did you know that? Uh-oh. Did you know that? You my little baby. Oh, he can't rip this. This is the library's book. Huh? No, I'll come get it in a minute. Yeah. Ale, děkuju. Moje drahá. Baby. Baby, go to mommy. Baby. Go to mommy. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. Thank you, baby. I see him. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Come on. It's 8. Jesus Christ, I keep fucking talking. Is that a movie? Yeah, I just don't want to play it because I don't want to get copyrighted. But yeah, this is Thor. Thor: Love and Thunder, the opening scene. So you can just like, it's probably on like a regular YouTube. Well, you can watch this. It's literally like the opening scene. Well, you don't see like where his daughter dies and they're in like a desert or something. You don't see that part in here, but it's Thor. MGTOW's about no marriage, no cohabitation. It's philosophy, not a phase. Word up. Okay, maybe I got it wrong then. Now I think about it, senior hitchmen never get respect from the big guys. They act tough to people they see lower than them, but become bitches when it comes to the big guy. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Like I said, in the old God of War games, like Ares didn't give a fuck about Kratos' army. Kratos' army ain't mean shit. It was what Kratos did with his army is what got Ares' attention. Right. And even then, to be real about it, it wasn't even like a lot of attention. Like Ares, you mean like he wasn't like like super on Kratos like that. He was just on him a little bit, right? But yeah, Ares ain't give a fuck about Kratos' army. He don't know John from Derek from David. Who? He like who? I want Kratos. You got to become your own man. And it's easier said than done because everybody has different life situations, what they got to work against, what they got to work with. Everybody's coming up a different way. So I don't want to like oversimplify it by just saying you got to, become your own man, because that's definitely an oversimplification, because we all got different things we got to fight with, work with, and all that. So like, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. I've been drinking too much, but the movie itself wasn't that good, Platypus Dreams. It wasn't like an amazing movie or anything. Christian Bale always does a great job with whatever I've ever seen him in. I thought he was a little cheesy in American Psycho, but that was made in like I think like the 90s, so that kind of like explains itself because the time period it was made in. But even then, he does a great job as an actor, though, I think. But I always found American Psycho to be a little cheesy. Because then he's trying to use like the American accent, and it's just really weird at that time period. Because I think he does it with his American accent. I think he does a great job in Batman with his American accent. But in American Psycho, the whole movie just kind of comes off as a little cheesy to me. But I still liked it, though. But again, and also it was like the 90s, man. People didn't know what they were really doing in media, shit like that. But I think the Tate brothers gave some good advice about pulling women. Be around women, and when other women see you around them, they become attracted, interested in you. Oh yeah, Rana, yeah. Women like men that have some sign of being around other women, right? Like that's just how it is, man. They want to be around a man who passed the test of being accepted by a social party. Most women. You have some women who don't. Some women they prefer the guy brooding in the corner, but most women will feel safe and comfortable with a guy who is known, right? Fame, just maybe a lower sense of it. I don't think they do care about height. I'm 5'5" and live in Texas, and Texas is mostly internet hype. Man of culture, I can agree with you on that. I think the height thing is yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. Now, but I do think some women do naturally like it. But I think as far as a certain prerequisite, I think most women are just kind of using that, trying to like not sell themselves short by in comparison to what other women are saying they want, kind of thing. Because women don't know how tall 6 foot is. They don't know most anything like that, right? I think a lot of it is just women trying to not sell themselves short in comparison to other women. So they'll say, "Oh, I want a guy who's 6'3" and all this shit like that." You know, yeah. Like I said, if whatever hot bitch that's out right now, tattooed her left tit to her forehead or wore a clown nose, every woman start wearing clown noses and tattoo their left tit to their forehead, right? If whatever hot woman's out now did it, oh, they all do it. They would all do it, right? They're just following each other because they don't know what the fuck they're doing, right? Scoliosis. Yeah, Rana. Yeah, my spine is curved. I have one big. I think because because the reason I got kicked out the military was when I got in, they found that I had. I think, and it's been so long, I can't remember now. They found that I was already in, and they found that I had a 45-degree curve, I think, and I think the limit was like 42 degrees or something like that, and I had two of them. So my back is I stand up straight, but my back is has like two curves, and at the bottom, my vertebrae they're just all jumbled up. Like it's just not even there's no order at all at the bottom. So so yeah, scoliosis. Yeah. So if I didn't have scoliosis, I would probably if you seen my X-rays, you would say too. Like I would probably be a good 3 inches taller if my back was like completely straight. I would be 5'9" easily. I would say because I'm 5'7", now. I would at least gain 2 inches at minimum if my spine was like straightened out easily. Because my back is like I have two. I think it's 40. It's over 40 degrees. I remember that, but I can't remember the exact. No, I think it's like 44, 45 degrees. I have two of those, and like I said, at the bottom, it's like jumbled up. So like when you see it, like I would easily gain. I would say at absolute minimum an inch and a half in height. At absolute minimum. I see my X-rays when I got in a car accident years ago, and it was gross. Like I was disgusted at that shit. Because it was just curved and just oof. Should have never let me in that motherfucker. But yeah, back was a goon. Was it a goon to you? Whatever. Yeah, bro. Just learn how to read with your fucking law degree and enlighten yourself or grow. Or if I'm wrong, goon to you, whatever. Like tell me if I'm wrong, goon to you, and I'll happily accept it. Right? I'll happily accept it. But I highly advise you learn critical thinking and find a definition of what without consent actually means. I would highly advise you to do that before you go telling other people shit and having them fucked up in life. See, it's people like that goon to you, dude, will have other people severely fucked up in life and they don't know why they're fucked up in life because they listen to guys like him. Goob you too, whatever his name is. Yeah. It's guys like him who do this shit. This dude, yeah, John Dorsey. Is this his name? John Dorsey? Maybe I should like add him on this or something like that. Is this dude? Yeah. Like learn how to read, dude. Like learn how to fucking learn critical thinking and learn how to read. And have a little baby. Hey baby. I think he wants to play with daddy a little bit. Yeah, he wants me to kick the ball with him. So I'm gonna get out of here. He's kicking the orange now. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here because he wants me to kick a ball with him. So yeah, you guys have a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. And thanks everybody who tuned in and stayed with me throughout my lagging live stream. Looks like it's smoothed out now. And I'll catch you guys in the flippy flip, man. Peace out.